Good morning and welcome to the Saturday day of racing at ORCWC 2023. I'm Francesca and I'm joined here by Tyler.
How's it going, Francesca?
Welcome, thank you for joining me. So today we have the 15k race to look forward to. The pro men will set off first, followed by the pro women. But before we get into that, let's have a look at what happened yesterday.
It feels amazing to be this year's world champion. It's been 4 years since I've been at this race. I was injured for a couple years with an ACL tear, and so to come back healthy and compete against the best people in the world and come away with a win is just the best feeling ever.
The race was amazing, man. It was like full gas from the start. Ian Hosick let it out, and then I was able to open up the gap a little bit on some obstacles, and just really thankful that I have some health to be able to race again. You know, I wouldn't have anything if God didn't bless me with this health to be able to race. So I'm really thankful for that.
See you tomorrow at the 15K.
Yesterday's racing was absolutely insane. I don't know if you saw that finish between the women, but I think we need to talk about that first.
It was the highlight of the day.
It was the highlight of the day for me. It was incredible. The race itself was fantastic. We had some incredible pro women. I was so excited to see Nicole back after the injury and the operation and coming back to racing really strong. I was so happy to see her sitting really strong and steady in second place. And I'm not going to lie, I had already typed out my results for the 15K. The time we saw Lindsay crossing the barbed wire, and I lost my voice screaming.
Yeah,
lost my voice screaming.
That's what you watch a sport, right? Just those head-to-head races. I mean, Lindsay and Nicole back at it again, for sure.
It was incredible. Both of them have been podium winners here before on the 3K, and to have them battling out. We are missing a few athletes. Ida Mathilde last year took the 3K title. She's not here this year, but it gave a chance for other people to kind of also, gave a chance. They are both incredible athletes. And that finish line, that A-frame was insane. We actually had a shot from one of our sponsors outside. Van was underneath the A-frame and got a shot looking up as Nicole overtook. So if you've not seen that, head to our page at ORCWC on Instagram and you can see that video of
she
the
threw herself over with reckless abandon. It was
absolutely
amazing. Yeah.
And then in the men, I think that was actually quite a surprise result. I did have Manuel to be on the podium. So Manuel Defoe is a Swiss racer. He's been doing really, really well in the 3K Spartan series. So I had him for the top three. Rylan, I adore Rylan. I am a big supporter of him, but he's had a lot of issues. After Trifecta World Championship last year, he had an Achilles injury. And whilst he's been doing quite well this year, he's not been running as much. He has a really great holistic attitude and a positive attitude towards everything, and he puts the work in. I was so excited to see him take that win.
Yeah, it's really great to see him come back. He's been really struggling with injuries his whole career so far. So it's really glad to see him really shine today, or yesterday rather.
Amazing. Then Ian Hosick in second. We've not seen that before.
Yeah, no, Ian Hosick's been on the doorstep for a long time, and he got through his podium, and he's been taking this race very seriously for a number of years. So really glad to see him do really well, and I expect to do really well today as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So athletes today, it's a little bit tricky to talk about who's racing today. We had some last-minute athletes sign up for the event, which we weren't even particularly aware about yesterday. We had some Russians who signed up literally last minute. I'm looking at the pro list here.
The Russians, you have Igor Belousov, who was a two-time podium winner last year. So, not a surprise there. I think he was 7th yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So look out for him today, I believe, to do really well in the 15K.
I imagine so. So he's not on our list here, and we do know there are some athletes on this list who are not racing today. So Manuel, I spoke to him last night. He has a knee injury, and he's focusing on Mexico now. So he's not going to be taking on. So we can talk about the the athletes that we kind of know are going to be there.
Mhm.
You know, we've got Ryan and Lindsay for sure.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, and Lindsay has been the champion, I think, every year except for she missed 1 year in 2019 since 2015. So.
Yeah, so in 2019 she fell off an obstacle in the rain, and was it Nicole that took the top spot that year?
Nicole,
or
no,
was it
Nicole.
Rebecca?
Yeah, no, Nicole actually DNF'd that year. It was Karen was her name.
Oh,
from
Karen, of course, Karen
Yes,
Carlson.
yes,
Yeah, wonderful. So that was in London. It was a very wet year. A
Mhm.
lot of the Americans, didn't perform
right.
as they would normally do, whether
Mhm.
it was the weather or the jet lag, or I'm not sure. So yeah, she is kind of headed for the top spot. But she did say yesterday, and she really struggled. Both her and Ryan said they've been acclimatizing for the last couple of weeks. They really struggled. She had an Instagram post where she said, after 400 meters, I could taste the blood in
Mhm.
my lungs. And I was like, that's me every time I run 100
Yeah,
meters.
I agree.
But I know that
Yeah,
feeling.
I agree. I ran the 3K yesterday myself in my age group, and it was, again, same thing, right? A quarter mile in, you're just like, my lungs are not working. I'm really fit in my legs, but my lungs are just not letting me perform the way I want to. So
Absolutely.
that can make it tough.
So yesterday they ran at midday. It was so hot. I was in shorts and a t-shirt and I was sweating. Today they're running at 8, so it's a lot colder. You do have that leg dip quite early on. I've spoken to Garth this morning. He has done all his, obviously now being Spartan, they have a lot of safety procedures in place being a big company. They have done the maths. They're deciding what is the right thing to do. As far as I'm aware, that dunk is still in because the temperature is not cold enough that it would cause any damage to anyone. I mean, it's cold here. I'm wearing
it's definitely not going to be pleasant, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the rule is the air temperature and the water temperature has to be at least 80 degrees, and I believe they meet that minimum. I believe
80?
It's combined.
Oh.
No.
Sorry, we get very mistaken for being the timing table here. For anyone watching, we are not timing. Timing is inside. So we get interrupted a fair amount. I apologize. So yeah, so as far as I can tell, all the maths is adding up, and it's looking like they're good to go.
Yep. So like I was saying, the air temperature and the water temperature has to be combined 80 degrees at minimum.
Combined 80.
Yes,
like 80 degrees is quite high.
Right. For a regular water, that would be. I would like to do that swim, but yeah, correct. So we'll definitely be chilly for sure.
Absolutely. Let's have a quick talk about the obstacles that are out there. So we have all the obstacles that were on the 3K, plus a few more going on today.
Yeah, up to number 7, rope climb, is going to be the same as the 3K, and then they break off and continue up the mountain there, reaching. We did court crawl as well yesterday, but then get farmers carries. So we didn't have any carries in the 3K race. A couple carries coming up the middle section of the course.
There are quite a few carries in this course.
Yep. So we're gonna have a farmer's carry. I believe those almost like grocery bags, sandbags. You're gonna have to carry there. I believe we have the firefighter carriage, those tubes we saw. So
Fit Fighter. Fit Fighter kind of replaced Rec Bag. That has been a classic OCRWC obstacle for years. If anyone remembers the Rec Bag carry in, I want to say 2016, when people were sliding down the mountains on their butts. Or it might have been 2017. Like they are
Toronto,
a classic.
in Ontario area. Yeah, that's right.
It's a classic carry. And we have a ton of classic OCRWC obstacles going on. Gibbons, Snake Pit, Force 5 low rig, Fit Fighter carry, Pendulum, Stairway. Let's talk about Stairway. Have you seen that?
Yeah, Stairs 3.0 is new last year, and it definitely gave a lot of people some fits for sure, especially given the dew on the obstacle. Especially in this kind of temperature, you could see a little bit wetness on those metal bars.
Yeah, so Stairway in the past was a wooden obstacle.
Right.
So imagine it, if you don't know it, like the inside of a set of steps, and the grip was this kind of grip.
Yeah.
This year, it's more like a caving ladder that goes up and down. And I think for the pros and those with very good grip, it's actually a lot easier. For me, because you wouldn't be able to double hand it, I think I would find it harder.
Yeah, I agree for sure. You have to use that mixed grip though too, where you're like this instead of like this.
Yeah, that is very difficult. But if you've got the technique for swinging, you can do it. Oh, I apologize. It is so chilly out here right now. I feel a little bit sorry for the athletes.
I'm wearing my gloves just for commentating here, and it actually looks like got some gloves for Francesca there too.
my cold little hands. She says, moaning as she sits down as the athlete's about to run 15K around a really steep mountain. I shouldn't really moan. We've also got Ricochet. That's a fantastic obstacle. We saw that yesterday. It's always a good one. That's close to the finish line. And Triumph and the cargo nets are right at the finish, which yesterday is where we saw Nicole's victory happen.
Yeah, and no Urban Sky, is that right? It wasn't in it last.
It wasn't in the 3K, and it was supposed to be. And I don't know why it wouldn't be in the 15K. I'm a little confused.
Yeah, me too. If you're looking at the map at home, I believe the order of obstacles is a little bit off.
Yes, so some of the obstacles had to change order towards the finish because basically the because of the mountain, what the mountain looks
right.
like,
Just logistics, right?
and the hill. I'm
Yes.
losing my words. The mountain's not as flat in some places as was expected, which you may go, well, it's a mountain. What do you think? Yeah, but in some places. So they've just switched some of the obstacles around slightly, but actually having Triumph and the cargo climb at the end has proven so far to be brilliant. I don't know if you saw that athlete yesterday, again posted it on our Instagram page. She was at Triumph for about an hour.
Wow.
She managed to get through Triumph fine, but she couldn't do the cargo net.
Ugh.
And by the time I saw her, she was like, hop, hop, doing it, with the cargo net. And then I was there, I caught her on video doing it. She was howling like an animal with pleasure when she finally got through. And that for me was one of those really key OCRWC moments. The crowd was there cheering her on. Her partner came out, like they were on the floor hugging. She couldn't, she had to compose herself before she went over the cargo climb. Because let's remember, this event isn't just about the pros. This is what we cover here, but it is about everyone who runs. And having that obstacle there within sight of the finish has created some really beautiful moments.
Yeah, it's victories like that she'll remember forever for the rest of her racing career, for sure.
Absolutely.
That's the thing about Triumph too. If you're having a hard time on that cargo net, you have to do the jumps every single time you fail the cargo net.
Yes.
Which can get difficult and
I mean, if you're racing,
jarring,
then it means that you are wasting a lot of time running back and doing it again. So something really good that we've got this year as well is that we have timing mats throughout the course. So we will be able to bring updates as to who is passing those mats as they go. That was really, really helpful yesterday, because sometimes you lose eyes on the course, sometimes technology fails, sometimes we just can't keep up with these athletes. Like, shout out to our rabbits. They're all kind of regular people, albeit athletic.
Yeah. A lot of age groupers, right? I was a rabbit yesterday, and yeah, for sure. As soon as they start running, of course,
it's hard.
Yeah, if I could run the whole race with them, I would be in there.
Yeah. So absolutely. Right, here we are at the start line. Nothing here, to be honest.
Yeah, myself as well, but I think it's going to warm up a good bit in the next hour and a half while this will be out in the course. So
the sun has only just come up.
Right.
I mean, I will probably be losing my jacket during this coverage. This very strange looking jacket on me right now. But yeah, they are going to get warm quickly. And actually, it is quite good advice for athletes when they're going through water to wear fewer clothes.
Right.
Because the more you wear, unless it's very good compression gear,
it's going to cling.
It keeps the water in. And it will make you more cold.
Now, while they're getting ready here, should we talk about some of these athletes we're going to be seeing
Let's
here
do
that we
it.
can get an eye on? So I think the first which we have to mention here is Tyler Veerman.
Yes.
Right, he was the reigning champion last year. He won by about 3 or so minutes over Ryan Atkins. Manuel Dufault was in that race. So look for him to do really well. He lives at elevation as well in Colorado, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue for him. And he's really strong on obstacles and a great ultra runner, 100 miles at WTM last year. So I think Tyler Veerman is my pick to repeat at this moment.
Okay, so is he your pick for top spot?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, I think I would go with that. Who else would we expect to see on that podium today?
Hard
to see.
Yeah, hard to see. They might be doing national anthem here,
They
so
are doing
might
national
want to
anthem.
go silent for a second.
That our flag was still there. Oh, stay just that star-spangled banner yet wave. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much, Mr. John. And when we started today with the American national anthem, we went to
We'll don't know if we can hear Dustin here, but we'll let Dustin do his thing. He is just incredible at what he does, the emceeing, or the start line MC rather.
It's interesting. We've had a few different start line MCs over the years. We had Spartan Phil when we were in the UK.
Yep. Justin Manning in Stratton.
Justin Manning in Stratton. We had Coach Payne in Canada, and I'm not sure who we had in the first 2 years.
I jumped into this sport here in about 2016. When I first had the OCR World Championships. That's when they were in Canada. Second year, I believe, is when I first did it.
It's quite nice to see the start line because I never got to see him. And here's Adrian. We love Adrian.
Yep,
He's doing his pre-race briefing.
Yep.
There's Ryan. I mean, I know he struggled yesterday with the altitude and the elevation, but he's so strong and he's so capable. There's no reason why we shouldn't see him performing well today.
Yeah, I mean, he is the legend of the sport, right? And doing really well since 2012, right? So almost the whole life of the sport, he's been really up there on the podium all the time. So to put him against the podium, it's like it's betting against the favorite, right? The one of the most experienced, one of the most championships. So I expect him to do very well as well. Also,
I would expect so.
another athlete I see as well wearing like the blenders there and the pink shorts is Grady Jackson. Now Grady Jackson, he's from New England originally, or that area, but then he actually moved out to California. He's been really strong. He's always done very great at Killington, which is a mountain-based course out in the East Coast. He moved up to California, actually done a lot more hybrid races like Beckett and High Rocks.
That's becoming very popular. A lot of athletes are kind of sliding into that, aren't they?
Right, they are. So haven't seen him out in OCR yet this year, I don't believe, but I'm interested to see how he's going to perform today at this 15K.
Absolutely. We had Noah Busher running yesterday in 3K. He did very well in Savage. Maybe yesterday was a bit short for him. He is very, very young, and this is a really tough course. Maybe not expecting to see him on the podium, but certainly expecting to see him have a good time and do pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. Another course got to mention is Ian Hosick.
Yeah, after yesterday, second place.
Second place yesterday, I believe. He definitely has a couple of top 5 finishes in this race. I feel like he is more of a long distance guy, actually.
Okay, so he's more of a long distance guy, but he came second in the 3K.
Right, yeah. So I'm expecting him to be up there as well.
Leon ran the 3K yesterday. He was hoping for a podium, but he came in 5th. But I mean, a 5th coming in after Ryan Atkins is not really an insult, is it?
Correct. Yeah, nothing to really bat your eyes.
This isn't his distance, though. However, he is very confident on the obstacles. So, again, not expecting to see him on the podium, but should be seeing him on the camera and chatting about him. Just about ready to go. And they are off. There we go. The men for the 15K 2023 ORCWC. Now, do bear with us. We are in the middle of nowhere. With this many people on site, the cell coverage that exists can become patchy. Our rabbits will do their absolute best, and anytime we don't have an image, we will be giving you as much information as we possibly can. Here they go, hopping into their ATVs, ready to zoom up the mountain. It's a really tricky job that those guys are doing out there, and
for sure.
We appreciate it massively. I know it's frustrating at home when there's not a picture, but we will do our absolute best to bring you all the information we can. As we sit here, the sun is just starting to come over the trees there. It is light. The sun's not been up long, but kind of as we're behind the mountains, the sun comes up over the mountains. It starts to warm up really, really quickly, and that sun is just hit our eyes. It's absolutely beautiful. So we do have 2 ATVs today, one for the men and one for the women, which hopefully means we'll be able to get some good eyes on the guys out there. And we also have the timing mats out. So we have one at rope climb, which is 2K in. We have one at confidence climb at 4.4K, cargo crawl at 8.6K. We have a mat, it looks like, at 12K, and then barbed wire crawl at 14.75K, and then it's the finish. Now, where we're sitting, we can see the barbed wire crawl.
Yes.
So we will be able to see the first athletes coming in, and then we can kind of see them run down the mountain. Unfortunately, even though we're on the deck overlooking the course, we don't get to see them do the finish, which is a shame, because yesterday I was standing up like
trying to get a good view of the for sure. Yeah, and for you at home too, the time about this race, I believe last year Tyler Veerman won it in 1 hour 31, which is a very fast time for even running a regular 15K. There it is, 1 hour 31, which aside from the years in London when it was extremely flat, that is one of the better times that's ever been run on the 15K. So here at the elevation and some of the obstacles, I could see it being a little bit slower this year, maybe more in that high 130 range, but very, very, very quick to even be honestly sub 2 hours is very quick for most people doing age grouper at home.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
So Tyler Veerman won last year. Previously, then it was Ryan Kempson, and before that it was John Albin. Every year it's John Albin.
Yeah, John Allen obviously go to the sport here, right, and then also moved on to mountain running and has done extremely well there, winning several races out. UTMB. So definitely a shame we don't have John Albin out here, but he's kind of onto those big races there.
Yeah, so he's running with the British Trail team, and he's just not allowed to do other things. And then in the women 15K historically, as I say, it's been Lindsay, Karen, Lindsay, Siri England.
Yeah.
The first year. We were talking about that, myself and Adrian.
Oh,
Here we go.
Here comes some athletes here coming down.
We've got the sun right in our eyes.
Yeah, with the glare, definitely a little bit tricky to see who we got.
Let me get my gutters on. Through walls, obstacle 2 of 12 already. 2 of 12?
Well, it says 2 of 13, but I believe that was from the 3K.
Yeah, it's 2 of 38, I think.
Yeah, I believe it's 38 obstacles in total. Yep, and I see Ryan Atkins getting through the through walls there. Let's see who else. We got the aforementioned Grady Jackson going through right now.
Reasonably tight bunch still, but they are. Is that Leon there in his jacket keeping cozy?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Full send, this athlete here.
They are still keeping. I mean, they're keeping a reasonably tight bunch, but there are a few at the back that losing. They are the slant walls, and then they will go over to Tyrolean Traverse. So hopefully, it's tricky ground. I've got to say that this ground is really, really tricky. You just saw a rabbit leaping over. Oh, so my gutters completely blocked the computer screen when I put them on, as I thought we'd lost the picture entirely. No, I won't be wearing any sunglasses. Here we go. This is the Traverse. Did you see who was going through them?
Yes, I saw, like I said, I saw Grady Jackson, right, because he's easy to call with the pink shorts there. I want to say he's somewhere around the 10th position right now. It was hard to see who's in the very front there because of that. The back half of athletes, but also all these athletes here are in the pro division, and for the pro division you have to qualify. So I believe there's a lot of races you could do to qualify, but on the Spartan side you have to be in the top 10 in an elite race. So that's very hard to do.
If there are enough people in the
right,
so you have to be in the top like 50% if there are,
and top 10, right? Exactly. So even these people bring up the rear in the pro race are extremely talented individuals.
Extremely talented.
Definitely give them a lot of credit for also having the guts to jump into the pro race with some of the best of the best.
Well, that's been a bit of a conversation in the UK. I don't know about how it's been in the States, but in like 2013, 2014, 2015, there was there is Tyler looking Veerman. Super happy, way out front. Is that a Russian behind him?
Possibly. That could have been Igor. No, Igor Belusov is. Let's see. Yeah. Yep, so we got Tyler Veerman with one other individual who we don't have a name for at the moment.
I love Tyler.
Yes.
He is such a kind soul. Like, he's an incredibly talented athlete, but just such a nice person as well.
Yeah, and all the athletes really are super nice. I mean, you go up to talk to any of them, and they're just willing to share about their race. If you race yourself, ask you about your race.
Yeah,
really a lot of their coaches as well.
Yes.
So if you're ever interested in upping your game,
there's Ryan. Is that Ryan coming in about fourth, fifth?
Yeah, it might be 4 right now. Looks like going up a good steady climb here. Yeah, we got Veerman hanging on in second place right now.
Sorry if you hear a bit of banging in the background. We're just putting up a little sun shield because the sun's starting to get in everyone's eyes here.
Yeah, the booth's really getting right into our eyes here, so making us have to squint as well just to look at the screen to see who we got. Yeah, and then we want to say that could be Leon.
No,
he's a tank.
No, he's wearing a vest. He's wearing a jacket.
Right, but then right after him is Atkins.
As soon as we get to the rope climb, we'll have names. So as we said, I know it's incredibly frustrating at home to not have this accurate information. We've had last-minute sign-ups, and the information just hasn't. It's not possible for the team here with the amount of work that they're doing to be able to pull that information for us, like this morning.
For sure. I think this gentleman is here because he is looking quite strong.
And then, of course, we've got athletes who are choosing not to run today after. We've got the women going off. They'll be going off in just a few minutes, I think.
That'll be good, too. When the women go off as well, we should have, hopefully, a clear picture on an athlete at all times for the most part, right? Because I have some action going with 2 races at once. So a lot more to talk about, too.
Look at this track here. Like, this is bike track, so the gradient and the pitch is quite tricky, but also underfoot, the texture is going to be really tricky.
Absolutely. Some of these grades you're seeing too, they're probably somewhere between that 3 and 5% mark, which just doesn't seem like a lot, but to run at that pace at this on that grade is quite impressive, especially for a long race. Here's our first look at Skull Valley. So we have Tyler Veerman and like we mentioned, one other athlete.
Russian. Is that Russian?
It's hard to tell with the flag on this gentleman's shirt. but like we mentioned, we should get through first. But one thing you got to keep an eye on there is the way that Bierman went through that obstacle. He put about 3 or 4 seconds on the person he was right neck and neck with, which was quite impressive. Now we have Atkins here looking really smooth as well, putting up some good time on some of the other athletes here. You can see how much more efficient Atkins was.
Oh, absolutely! Look at that.
Yeah, because
it's when it comes to the obstacles that you see the difference between runners and OCR athletes, because the fluidity, that was something John Alban was always very good at, was the fluidity on obstacles.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's also about recovering too on the obstacle as well. Have a little bit of chance to breathe.
So I'm just looking at who started here. We have now the list of who crossed the start line. We've got Jonathan Stern. He's from the States. So the gentleman in second is Fernando Valenzuela from Ecuador.
Yes. Here's a shot of looks like
Leon.
There's Leon. And I'm curious what Leon's going to do here with his vest, right? Because of course that jacket.
Hot.
Yeah, it's going to get a little warm, for sure. But he looks super comfy and happy. Yeah. These guys here are really ripping.
He's also wearing a neckerchief there, so unless he's going to tie it around his waist, maybe he's not wearing a shirt underneath, and he's just keeping a little bit of advertising going on there.
Yep.
So we had in first place, the first couple of athletes that we were seeing were Tyler Verman, Fernando Valenzuela, and Ryan Atkins. We were seeing that.
Right.
Okay, Fernando just hit the rope. Oh, it says second though. That's weird. Tyler hit the rope line.
Yep. So we have.
Okay, so we've just got the first athletes hitting the rope climb, which is our first time out on course, which is 2K in to this 15K course. Tyler Verman came in first, followed by Fernando Valenzuela, Ryan Atkins, and Ian Hosek. So Ian is still really holding his own here in this course.
And Ian could potentially be the gentleman I was talking about in the blue the darkish blue shorts, not blue like Atkins, but it looks like almost like some lightning strikes kind of on his shorts.
And there's Ryan going through.
Yeah, going through these are cords, these are not barbs, but still quite difficult, especially given it's uphill.
But you don't need to worry about your back.
Right, you can be a little bit more reckless with your back. You don't have to worry about any cuts there.
Hitting the rope climb after Ian, was Grady Jackson, Leon Cufford, and then Sam Osborne, Ethan Brown. They are really sticking close together.
Yeah, and Sam Osborne too is an athlete who's been very good in the Savage Series.
Yes.
I believe he's somewhere in the top 5 in that Savage Series.
So we're looking at a gap of 45 seconds in
top 10 on the screen here that you can see.
Oh, there we go. There's our top 10.
Also in 9th there, Court Dixon. I believe he's from Utah. I was out at the Utah Beast race and I saw him podium there in the elite division and did very well. Here's Ian Hosek actually in this.
So he's the one in the vest.
Yeah, okay, he's in the vest.
Now, it would make sense. I'm sure people at home are like, why don't you go down to the start line and see who people are and see what they're wearing? And every time I'm like, yeah, I should do that. But unfortunately, I'm also sitting here 20 minutes before the start starts. I wanted to do that, but very technical. So looking at this top 10, there are a few surprises in there. Fernando Valenzuela, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. He's kind of a new name for us.
Yeah, he is. I've seen him before at some other races, some other mountain races, but I think he's from Ecuador, right? So we don't really get a lot of eyes on South American OCR very often.
Well, that's one of the nice things. I know we've had criticism about this event being on the West Coast, but we have athletes from China. We have a lot of athletes from Asia. South. He's from Switzerland.
Oh, right.
So we've got lots of athletes from South America as well. And whilst like Team Puerto Rico, and maybe that's not, I'm iffy on my geography, but it's south of the States for sure. We are getting a lot of new athletes that we've not had before. And it's good to grow the sport. And it's good to give other people an opportunity. So as you can see here, picture in picture, the women are getting ready to set off. They will be leaving in just a minute. Talking about the women, are we expecting to see any great surprises there today? I don't think so. Calypso Sheridan has kind of come out of nowhere and has been doing really, really well this year.
Yeah, she's doing well at everything too, whether it's hybrid, whether it's Go Ruck games.
Yes.
It's been impressive, right? I think she was 6th yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so. Obviously, we have, as far as I'm aware, Nicole and Lindsay are still racing today.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine they're going to be the heavy favorites to go 1-2, right? And then as well, Annie Doobie's always been that person who's been in third, kind of knocking on the doorstep of Lindsay and Nicole there. So I'd be excited to see if she can.
So for some reason, Annie's one that's not on our list. Like we know she's racing, but she's not on our list. It's tricky sometimes pulling the lists, and everyone's got a lot of work to do. So, of course, Annie Doobie, we could see a similar podium to yesterday.
Right, absolutely. And also, look out for Eureka Evanston.
She's not here.
Oh, she's not here?
She's not here.
She's on our list.
She's on our list, but she's not here.
If I'm not mistaken, she was 4th last year. So I saw that name. I got excited that she could be a top person.
She has been doing really, really well in Europe. She's a great athlete. I'm quite sad that she's not here because I think this could be a good chance for her to really shine. We've got Ryan there on camera. Always fantastic to recognize with his bouncy hair and his lovely running gait.
Yeah, he just looks so smooth and effortless whenever he runs. You can tell here too, good bit. He's putting some distance on Ian Hosick, who I believe is behind him in the blue there. So from our angle, it does look like he's putting on some good. A good
I mean,
gap.
if he's got that distance between, so that's 3rd and 4th place. If he's already building that distance between 3rd and 4th place, and we're 14 minutes into the race, then there's going to have to something really big happen for that top 3 to now change. But we also have like another hour and 10 minutes to go.
Right. Yeah. You got to wonder if we don't see Veerman or Fernando Venezuela there. So you got to wonder where are they in this?
They could be way ahead.
As we back up, we're getting smaller. Ryan is getting smaller and smaller there. We still don't see Fernando or Tyler. So.
No, and we don't see many people behind them either. So just to recap, behind Ian was Grady at the rope climb. This was. Behind Ian was Grady Jackson, Leon Cufford, and Sam Osborne. So the start of the race is a little bit iffy. It's hard for the ATVs to get there, and our cameras, it's just too hard to follow the athletes. So we're kind of heading backwards up the course here towards the through walls. As we were saying before we saw the athletes, this terrain really, really tough. You can see there's like a couple of big dips. I was out there yesterday. They're quite hard to get across, so unless you find exactly the right spot, and that's kind of where the athletes are going. It's either like a little climb in and out, or it's a huge leap. No one wants to break an ankle, but no one wants to get in the athlete's way.
Right.
So it's quite tricky, but yeah, for the athletes, this terrain it's soft, it's rocky, it's unstable underfoot, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of push when you're running down it, right? Like hard packed wood.
We can hear, I'm not sure if you can hear at home, the rabbit breathing. I have videos yesterday. I was out on course taking videos, and just all you can hear is me just like, it is so tough. We have spoken about the elevation quite a lot, and it's been, there we go, that is Tyler there. We just got a shot of. We're losing a little bit of coverage as we go up the mountain. But we can see there, that was Tyler. I'm assuming still in first place. Is there anyone around him?
I think we're going to wait around at the slip wall and the Tyro Traverse for the women. They likely should be approaching pretty soon.
As the sun comes up, it is starting to warm up, so it'll be interesting as the athletes start to get to the lake, what it's going to be like. I never had a problem with water until I started doing OCR.
Yeah.
And then it was my first really cold lake dip at, I want to say it was 2014 Beast at Pippingford Park, and anyone in England will know what I'm talking about. And it was so cold, and there's a picture. Oh, here we go. Here are the athletes coming through.
No surprise.
Nicole and Lindsay.
Neck and neck. Just, I mean, you love this.
Look at that leap.
Like, it's just crazy how close they are. You never see anything like this.
No.
In OCR, right? You see this in track all the time when they're together. Lindsay.
She is not going to back off after yesterday.
Right,
She
I
wants
think
to take that.
she's going to have a little bit extra vigor today after, she's a very competitive person.
She was. I mean, she's such a lovely person. Like, she was so happy for Nicole. She was so happy for Nicole. She's so congratulatory. But it's going to hurt for someone so competitive to have that snatched in the last few seconds. And so, yeah, that's going to spur her on between the two of them. Again, it's going to be a competition between those two unless something terrible happens, and we'll see who's then coming in third, which is kind of a bit sad for the third place because they don't really get spoken about so much when there's this kind of competition happening up at the front.
For sure. And like I mentioned before, to all these women, every single one of them in the pro race had to be a top 10 elite Spartan or some other race brand, right? Other options as well. That's going to be, looks like Annie Doobie. So as predicted, 1, 2, 3, Nicole, Lindsay, and Annie.
We're very short way into the race here. We're a couple of obstacles in, but the gaps are big. Is that Rose there?
That's Rose. Yep. So,
always easy to recognize Rose.
Of course. And then one other woman right behind her in fifth, which we couldn't get a name on.
I like Rose. I really want to see her. I want to see. That's Annie.
Oh, that's Annie. Well, she looks to be a little tentative on that run.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that woman. And I recognize Annie by her glasses.
Yeah, usually
So I
she's
was like,
wearing some
oh,
sort
she's
of,
not wearing glasses.
Now we have a good pack of women coming through Tyrrell Traverse here.
So the top two, they're going to be fighting between the two of them. And then third's looked pretty steady by herself, but then there is a big pack. So we never know. Third could drop back a little bit. And then, yeah, there's certainly a distinct pack running together, which is kind of interesting because it shows that this is a real competition.
Absolutely.
That the athletes are really competing because, yeah, they're really having to battle it out there.
So yeah, you'll see that sun coming over the mountain there. So definitely.
Oh, so we
a
do
lot of
have
glare.
Maud de Sousa with us. So that could be Maud in third place. She's a fantastic athlete from Belgium.
Okay.
She does really, really well in Spartan races. She's been doing well in the big championships
Maud de
over in
Sousa, okay.
Maud de Sousa. She did well last year in the European Champs. Off the top of my head, I can't remember her
Is
place.
she a new athlete for OCR Worlds? Or at least near the top 5-10
Yeah.
area? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's great to see someone new.
Let's see who else
coming
is
through.
on this start list that we might recognize. We've got Calypso Sheridan, Caroline Simi. A name here that I don't recognize, Jacqueline Villanueva.
Okay.
Katie Duke, we know her.
Yep,
Julie Best.
Katie Duke is a really strong swimmer who came over into Deca this year.
Amazing.
And then, yeah, I don't know if we've seen her in an OCR quite yet, so this is it's exciting.
A few other names, Isabel Zamora Zarate, Camila Mejias, Karina Matricha.
Isabella's from El Paso, Texas.
So we're getting a lot of Chilean athletes here. I got a few nice videos yesterday of the Chilean team. They're really excited.
Okay,
It's kind of a bit
awesome.
like Team Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
like full of energy and excitement, and it's good. Again, this is an opportunity we're having for athletes to join that haven't necessarily been with us before because of where we've been.
Absolutely.
So let's see if there's anything going on with the men. The men have not hit the next obstacle. So they hit the rope climb, which was 2K in, but not the confidence climb yet, which was 4.4. Here we are. This is at the dunk wall.
Oh boy, so this dunk wall is very early, huh?
That's obstacle 10. Yeah, so dunk wall comes just before confidence climb.
Okay, so assuming we're waiting for the top men here to be hitting this dunk wall.
Yes, I would expect so.
Oh, here they are now.
Here we go. Here's Tyler coming through. I'm guessing that's going to be Fernando still. Oh, we can see the top four still. Like this.
Yeah,
gaps
still
between
within.
them.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many countries? The number.
50 nations taking part this weekend. 50.
5-0.
5-0 or 5 or
Announcer wins 5-0.
55.
5-0.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different nations here this year. At least 50 nations taking part.
So that list is correct.
We've just lost the picture there as they came
It
through.
looks like we have Fernando in second coming out of the water.
This, I mean, it is rapidly heating up here. And there's Ryan. And you can see all the athletes. So they run around this, like, it's a shame for the athletes that they're not seeing this at midday, because I was there the other day as Garth was putting it out, and it is such a beautiful, like it's pale blue and sparkles.
Oh, of course. I'm taking the course myself at 12:15, and I'm excited for what it might look like for me. But
so Tyler has hit confidence climb, which comes just after the dunk wall, followed by Fernando Valenzuela and Ryan Atkins. They are the only three to have hit the confidence climb so far.
Yeah, but I think
now Ian Hosick has just got there.
Right behind.
We are talking about a 30-second gap between those top four. From Tyler to Ian.
Oh, wow.
About 30 seconds, if not a little bit less.
Okay,
so they are
good.
sticking together with 4.4K in, so we're almost a third into the race. And oh my gosh. Still moving really fast. So now they've got a little bit of a downhill, one slight uphill, and then they kind of go across the mountain for a little bit. But there is a ridge here. We should be able to see them from the village running across the ridge, which is really quite beautiful.
That's awesome.
It goes there, I think. But I think our view may be slightly impacted by all the signage that's out here on this deck.
Yes.
Now, for anyone who's running later in the day, I do just want to give some motherly advice. Wear sunscreen. The temperature is not that high. Yesterday it was 18 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But
somewhere in the 60s.
a lot of people got burned. I wear Factor 50 every day because I'm very Irish. Just by the name.
Okay, Nicole just came through rope climb first.
Okay, so we've got Nicole coming through the rope climb, followed by Lindsay 1 second after her.
Wow.
There is a 1 second gap with Nicole in the lead, followed by Lindsay. Let's see who comes through next, and we'll see what our top women are looking like. I just want to reiterate that point. Please, please, please wear sunscreen out on that course. We are in the mountains. It sounds really silly when you say we're closer to the sun, but we are. Do not get injured. Do not get hurt. Sorry if I'm teaching you to suck eggs. Look after yourself. It's going to be hot out there today.
Absolutely.
We had no one else come through the rope climb yet on the women, so let's quickly look at the men. What's going on there? Ian Hosick came in 4th on confidence climb, followed by Sam Osborne, 9 seconds behind him.
Oh, wow. Okay. So top 5 now, we're looking at 39 seconds between.
Noah Busher was 1 second behind.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they were sticking together. Court Dixon, exactly the same time as Noah Busher on the confidence climb. Ethan Brown, 1 second behind that. And then Grady Jackson, like 10 seconds.
So we got a really nice pack between Sam, Noah, and
there could be an opportunity there with how close those 3 athletes are to maybe steal 3rd.
Right,
maybe steal 3rd.
You may see them work together for the next, several kilometers of the course. Just staying together is going to help push the pace.
I had a chat with Ryan Kempson the other day, and he was talking about racing strategy, and I was like, I'm not a pro athlete, never have been, never will be. I didn't really think that there was a strategy necessarily. Like, my strategy has always been don't die.
Yeah, there absolutely is a strategy for sure, especially when you go around a corner. If you can get it at a sight, if you're racing someone, or say you can take a carry and you sprint with that carry for 10 strides, just get a little gap on them to really get in their head, oh crap, I have to keep up.
So coming through on that rope climb, it was indeed Mao de Sousa from Belgium.
Okay.
So we have a European there.
Great, yeah, no, it's great to see for sure. And now, so I'm curious to see how she does for sure. Oh, it looks like we have this might be the farmer's carry.
This is the farmer's carry.
Okay, so it's not those sandbag, grocery store bags filled with sand like I mentioned
I think
before.
they're logs with chains.
Yes, which I believe is typical of Spartan. I've seen that obstacle in the past.
So, out of interest for the women, as we said, Nicole and Lindsay came on the rope climb within a second of each other. Mao de Sousa was about a minute and a half behind, and then Annie Doobie was about 30 seconds behind her, followed by Florencia Cano, who was another 20 seconds behind her.
Okay, yeah, and then like I mentioned before, I saw Annie Doobie kind of running a little tentatively on that downhill, so I don't know if she got a little strains. Maybe I heard some strains possible on that slip wall at obstacle 3 right before the Tyrolean Traverse.
Could be
because you have to get a little bit explosive, especially given how cold it is. Right, muscles might be a little bit tight, so hopefully she's able to work through that on the next section of the course.
So a quick note about Florencia: I've not heard her name necessarily before. She is from Argentina, so again another athlete that's kind of coming in that we've not had coming to the east coast of the UK, which is really nice.
Makes it feel like a true world championship.
It is. I mean, if we're looking at the top athletes, we have Europeans, Americans, South Americans. We have a lot of different people coming in, and that's what makes a world championship.
Welcome all people countries.
I want to pull up my notes on this one.
We have the first 10. In fact, we have 15 athletes on the men through the confidence climb.
Wow.
So the next time we will hear from them in terms of timing is the cargo crawl at 8.6K. Having this timing maps out in the course is so great.
Oh, very
It makes
helpful.
it so much easier for us here to know what's going on and to be able to bring that information to you at home.
However, looks like we're waiting for them right now. It looks like they're getting to some sort of obstacle, or is that because there's the trapeze?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These are all quite close together. I did these the other day and we went around them. They're all kind of reasonably in the same area and they loop around. Let's just have a quick look at that map there. As you can see, they kind of come down. Where's the climb?
Not
the climb. I'm sorry,
number 11.
Carry. Farmer's carry is number 9.
Okay, they already hit that then. They hit that before the dunk wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was getting confused. So something quite difficult is not long after the dunk wall, we've got Gibbons.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a lot of obstacles. You've got the dunk wall, which really hits the lungs.
Absolutely.
When the cold water, that's what I was saying before, when I kind of started to get issues with water, it was that feeling of going into the very cold water and it taking your breath away. And that's what happens with drowning. It's not, you can't, sometimes happens, it's a shock when you get into that water. They've got a downhill with a lot of obstacles and then they go right back up the hill again and then across the mountain. And those obstacles are really piled in: 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Dunk wall, confidence climb, trapeze. Trapeze is not difficult. It's a lovely obstacle. Inverted walls, snake pit, gibbons. Now the ropes on snake pit this year, they're very, very fine.
Oh, really?
They do have knots at the bottom. So the first ones you go across, you can use the knots, your feet on the knots, but they're very, very thin ropes. So that could cause a few problems for people.
Okay, yeah, interesting to see because it's not an obstacle you see anywhere else. Currently getting a shot of the farmer's carry again, but so we're hoping to get some more shots of some athletes coming up soon here. They also are expected to hit this really large ridge as well, but also really large climb to get there. So definitely curious to see how they're going to be able to handle this grade. It's upwards of 35% on some of the steepest grades. Yeah, so still kind of just here waiting for some more athletes to pop through here. Gonna see if we can get another update here. Let's see here. Okay, yep. So
I'm waiting for the women.
Then we're kind of waiting on another update on here, as well as the females too, because it really could be anybody's game here as far as it comes to that 4th to 7th position as well. So excited to see how that is going to shake out, because getting top 10 at an OCR World Championship is nothing to sneeze at here. Oh, here I have an athlete coming up here. Let's see who this might be. This might be more of the back end of the men's.
Back end of the men. I think we're possibly here waiting for the women.
Yes.
I know one of the ATVs is going to get up to the top of the mountain, and then they're going to run across the mountain.
Right. Yep. So we'll hopefully get some shots of the top women doing this farmer's carry, headed up towards the dunk wall, and then we'll hopefully get up to the ridge by the time the men can get there.
But as mentioned, it can be quite difficult in this environment to get good pictures. We can actually see all the cameras that we've got. A couple of them are slightly patchy, so when we choose the image to push out, it's the one that's the most reliable. Do have patience. I know it can be frustrating at home. You want to see everything that's going on, and right now we can see some blurry lumps running towards us.
Yeah,
that looks like Lindsay and Nicole.
Oh wow, just right on each other's shoulders, which is just...
Yeah, so that 1 second at the rope climb, Lindsay took it. It's amazing, isn't it? When you don't know an athlete, it's hard to recognize them. When you do know an athlete, you can recognize them by a blurry mess.
Yep.
And here we go, farmer's carry.
And they're just making this look easy. They're jogging with it here.
They're heavy. They're heavy, and those chains are not nice.
No, definitely rough on the hands, too.
So we've still got Lindsay and Nicole way ahead. Last we heard, it was Mad D'Souza in 3rd place, followed by Annie Doobie, like 30 seconds behind her. But Maud was about a minute and a half at the rope climb.
Yep, so
that gap could have stretched.
Yep, and here we have actually a top 10 list here currently for the women. So Maud D'Souza, Annie Doobie in 4th, Florencia Cano in 5th, Caroline Colstow in 6th, Calypso Sheridan 7th. That athlete mentioned Jacqueline Villanueva, who we have not heard of quite yet, in 8th, and then Julie Best and Ashley Heller, who have been around the scene for quite a while, 9 and 10. So curious to see what the gaps are in the 5 to 10 range, and see if there's really any catching, even Maud at this point.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting for me as a European. I see the American racing, the US racing, and Canada, and European. I'm always pushing the Europeans. I'm very, very strong at pushing the Europeans. But there are other markets that we don't know about. Yeah, I was speaking to an athlete from China, and we kind of want to have more conversations with him to talk about what it looks like over there. But it's South American athletes that we don't get to hear from as much, and it's really nice to see them here on the leaderboard, kind of getting a bit of a time to shine. And it's going to be taking some people by surprise, because they're going, oh, well, I knew where I stood against these guys, but I don't know where I stand against these ones.
Yeah, and Jack Bauer always pushes through a prediction contest as well.
He does.
And I would be surprised if many people had Maud D'Souza on their podium or even on their top 5.
I saw her on the list, but I thought she wasn't coming. I would have put my top 3, as we discussed, Nicole, Lindsay, Annie. Maud would have been in my top 5.
Yep.
But any of those others, I don't know their names. So they not any of those others, but the South American athletes, I didn't know them, so they wouldn't have been there for me.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like I mentioned before, South America, China, both markets we're not really too sure of, but really growing markets for Spartan, particularly, right? Spartan being a global brand. And then also there's a ton of other race brands as well that we have not heard of.
We don't know.
Here in the States or in Europe.
I've seen quite a lot of Middle Eastern athletes here this weekend as well.
Yeah. And we all know that, of course, Spartan hosts the World Championships in Abu Dhabi, right? Of course, Tough Mudder going over there in February as well. So it's quite exciting for them. Yeah, there's Annie. Again, look at that gate by Annie. I mean, maybe it's just the angle, but again, looking a little bit.
That's Rose right on her tail.
Yeah, was Rose on our top 10 list?
On the list that we saw earlier?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Oh, she should have been. That would have been. Oh no, maybe her chip's not working.
Oh, that would be a bummer. Because, Rose Wetzel was not on that top 10 list, but that is most certainly Rose.
That could be. Well, we're seeing her.
I hope Rose didn't forget to put a chip on.
Yeah, that could be possible. I believe actually that happened to Lindsay Webster in 2019 at the 3K. She forgot to put her mandatory obstacle completion band on, which DQ'd her from the race. So that case, things like that can happen.
They can happen. I mean, she only signed up for the 15K yesterday.
Rose
she
did?
was, yes.
Oh,
she was
really?
unsure about whether to do it because she
okay.
didn't know how she was going to feel after yesterday. And then I was at the desk when she came along.
Okay, and here's Mao DeSuter. So it appears though she's in 5th, but also, I mean, unfortunately, if Rose forgot her chip, that would be a DQ for Rose.
Oh, God.
Which would be heartbreaking to see. But so then that could push up Mao DeSuter here to 4th. Oh, Annie's 3. Annie's 3. So Annie's 3, and like we mentioned, Rose could be in 4th, but she's not appearing on.
So
our
Annie,
results.
then, if Annie's coming in 3, that means she's overtaken by 30 seconds because she was 4th on the rope climb.
Yeah, I mean, Annie's a very strong mountain runner. I mean, her Instagram handle is Mountain Go Girl. Mountain Go Girl. So she's done very well in some of the Cirque series out in Utah. I believe she lives in the Rockies as well. So at elevation also. So that could be playing to her advantage during this race.
Absolutely. So after the farmer's carry, it's going to be the dunk wall for the women. So we'll see them going through there soon. Even just in the time between the men and women going through, it's warmed up a lot. I mean, it's still chilly, but they are running really fast. And you get hot here very, very quickly.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, it was so hot here yesterday. I'm here. I didn't pack any shorts. I have a dry robe and a ski jacket in the car. I have hiking boots, lots of woolly socks. I didn't pack shorts because, I don't have the space for that. It's going to be snowing. Yesterday, I had to go to Merch and buy a pair of shorts. They're actually really, really nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one thing too, right? You're really unsure.
Here we go. This is Lindsay coming out of the dunk wall.
And look like,
with a bit more of a gap. We say a bit more of a gap, but,
probably about 10 seconds? Not even?
10 seconds for us.
Right, yeah.
With Nicole behind her.
Lindsay hit confident climb at 8:39.
Okay.
So Lindsay's already hit the confidence climb, and Nicole came 10 seconds behind her. Well done, you. Yeah, you're right. 10 seconds.
Great. Yeah.
And then we're waiting for the next athlete to come on confidence climb so we can see.
So there's Nicole right on it right now.
Absolutely.
Yep. So now this is actually the Spartan slip wall, actually, if you recognize it.
Yeah.
It's just renamed here for confidence climb.
Get ready to see magic in the making.
We're keeping our eyes on the men as well. There's quite a big gap. So we had 2 checkpoints. Starts, rope climb at 2K, confidence climb 4.4K. The next checkpoint we get is 8.6K.
Right.
So there's a bit of a gap now. And they also have to get across the mountain.
Yeah, and
hopefully we get a picture of them, or hopefully we can see them from where we're sitting, which would be pretty darn cool.
I was mentioning too, I believe they're going to hit the sharpest grade on the course as well, at about 35%.
You can see just looking at the map. Maybe we could get a quick picture of the map, point out where they are. You can see, because it's an aerial view, it's not a drawing.
Right.
You can see what they're going to be running across. It's quite difficult.
Yeah,
so they're kind of, if you look to the top corner,
top right of your screen. Yep.
The women have just hit number 9.
Well,
they've done number 10, 11. So that's kind of up where the lake is. If you look at the 15K, 3K, it's directly below that. They then have to go down and back up and then across the mountain. So this kind of running here, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I think we're looking at some ridge running is what it seems to be. And then, but like I said, before that, we're going to have that big climb. I don't think it's that terribly long, but like I said, it's terribly steep. It's the steepest section on the course. So I think that's what we're going to be looking at coming up for the women here. And I'm assuming the men are probably already past that. I'm also curious to see if that snake pit obstacle or Gibbons shook up our leaderboard at all for the men.
Yes, absolutely. We've not had any more women going through on confidence climb yet. That was quite a while ago.
Yeah, we're waiting on the dunk wall, and here we have looks like this could also be a man here coming around the corner here. I see two people, but unsure if either of them are third place. I think Annie was wearing blue, and I do looks like I might see some blue in there.
So we had Annie's wearing the glasses,
yes.
and Maud had like a grey,
grey black
angled
and white,
top
maybe.
on.
Yeah. Like representing those Belgian colors.
See, that looks like Rose in fourth to me.
Yeah, like we mentioned, I think Rose could be in fourth in the race, but like I said, we're unsure what happened with her timing and why it's not popping up on our screens. Yeah, so here they're wading through some water. Looks to be about knee deep. You'll notice they're trying to keep their hands out of it as long as possible. They don't want to get their hands too chilly. They're going to dive right underneath. They're doing a little skip technique as well as a fast way to get through this dunk wall. And there goes Annie underneath, and then Rose possibly only about 5 seconds behind. Look for them to try to run a little bit, just to try to get
warm up.
Yeah, warm up again, right?
So we've got 1 and 2 really close together. Bit of a gap. Would we say like a minute and a half, 2 minutes?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll find out when they get to the confidence climb, which is very shortly here.
But we don't know.
Yep.
We have these issues with Rose, which, by the way, I am messaging people. When you don't hear me talk, I'm poking him, going, chat for a bit, because I'm trying to message people behind the scenes saying, something's going on with Rose's chip.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's not working, I hope it's an error, a race error.
Right.
Because we have so much footage, we'll have footage of her crossing the line. If it's her error and she's not wearing a chip, that would be heartbreaking.
Absolutely. Morning, guys. Yeah. And now, so we're going to get some age groupers out here as well on course.
So that looks like Annie Doobie was at the confidence climb at 8:43. So that's 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes behind.
Yeah. Well, actually, it looks like we're getting a shot of the carry here. It looks like this might be the Fit Fighter carry, actually, from some of the men.
Oh, excellent. So that's obstacle 18. So that's kind of right in the middle of the mountain. I wish we could see them. We've got huge posters out here on deck. We're on a beautiful deck for those of you who aren't here. To the right is the 100 meters, and in front of the deck is the finish line in the festival. We've also got our MCs up here. It's really good fun. We're out here on the deck broadcasting live, but we have massive printouts of the map, which are directly in front of us, so we can't see. We can see the barbed wire crawl when they get there eventually, but we can't see the ridge where we would hope to see them running.
Yep.
So Mao D'Souza came through on confidence climb. It's saying fourth, but actually that's fifth. She came through a minute after Annie Doobie.
Okay. Yes, it's quite the large gap. And here goes Leon. Here's Leon with his. It looks like it's a double carry.
It's a double carry.
Maud just came through.
Not terribly heavy. These but very awkward.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of different strategies, right? I like Leon's strategy of putting it over his shoulder, but also based on the way his stride is, seems to be quite a difficult pitch.
Leon is an incredible technical athlete, but he lives in a very, very flat country. So he doesn't have the opportunity, one, to acclimatize to this elevation, two, to practice hills as much as he'd like. But he's strong. Like, you look at those legs, they are strong legs.
Although, is that potentially Atkins behind?
No.
Because here's that's Veerman in the arm sleeves.
Yeah.
Behind Leon.
What?
So
what?
Leon might have dropped. There might have been a downhill somewhere because Leon is an incredible
downhill
athlete.
runner.
Yeah.
That would no.
Of course, yeah. They all are.
Oh, this
right?
looks like Rat Atkins coming down the hill.
Yeah. It's really hard to tell.
So these guys are all kind of smushed up a lot more than they were before.
Okay. Yep. So that's. Yep. We're waiting to get confirmation there.
Yeah, is that?
That is Atkins because he's in navy blue shorts.
I looked for that hair.
Yep.
Wow, Leon.
Yeah,
so what are we looking at for timing map-wise? That was carry. A cargo crawl, that's Fit Fighter carry is obstacle 18. Cargo crawl is obstacle 20.
But
it's all the way across the mountain.
And they have a full kilometer run. Who knows how technical or hilly that is, but maybe still a kilometer at this pace.
Looking at the women now coming through the confidence time. So we had Lindsay Webster, Nicole Miracle, Annie Doobie, and Rose Wetzel, who's not showing up in the results. Then Mounta Suter came in about a minute after that. Florentia Cano came in a minute and a half. Julie Best a few seconds behind. Caroline Simi a second after. Calypso Sheridan 20 seconds after that. So that group is still sticking together.
Yep. So it's
really,
like
really
that
tight.
6 to 10 range is still going to be together. So we hope to see them and be able to push each other through this race and not get really spread out like the rest of the field is seeing right now.
But as we've just seen in the men, we think, unless that's a double loop of the Kerry.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. Or yeah, because I know sometimes, like, especially Garfield being one of the main designers
More
of the
sadistic
course.
men out there.
Yes. He likes to draw the Spartan helmet or something like that. So
that is a big trick of Thomas Blanc. He
Yeah.
loves it. So he's a race director he's from France, but he raced out the UK for a long time. He then started working for Spartan and became a race director. He was race director for Trifecta World Championships. He may still be, actually, and he does lots of trail events now. If he is a race director for an event, you know it's going to be really, really horrible.
Absolutely. Yeah, so
Here we go.
So, well, this is going to be some age groupers.
This is this is the age group who's coming to. I was a bit confused. I was like, this looks like the three walls. Hitting it with a lot of attitude there.
Yeah, that's Zach Miller, actually. Shout out to Zach Miller. He's from the New England area where I'm from.
It's really nice to get a bit of a chance to see the age group. So something else fantastic that is happening this weekend, courtesy of the OCR report, is we have a live finish cam running on a separate feed throughout the entirety of the race, technology allowing, which means anyone who crosses the finish line can find themselves crossing and they can share that at home. They can take screenshots. One criticism has always been a bit, we focus too much on the pros. And I agree, we do focus too much on the pros. And sometimes we focus too much on the men as well. And the women don't get their fair share. It's working out really, really well today.
One thing about this Tyrolean Traverse here is that compared to maybe it's the way that was in the mountain, it's a lot shorter. Spartan Beast, if you've run a Spartan Beast recently.
Yes, it is a short one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I also see Derek Rosansky as well. Getting a shout out to Derek. He's from the New England area. Some of my friends from the New England area.
I love that.
But yeah, I mean, the men's 30 to 39 category is also very competitive. I mean, a lot of these people.
Category. Across everything. I love this guy. It's our biggest category. It's our biggest audience.
Yes.
Those are, they're kind of the ones who step up the most.
Absolutely. And all these people, I know they took away the qualifications for
age group.
However, a lot of them are still regular podium contenders in their local Spartans. There's a big push on the age group U.S. National Series. You'll see a lot of faces from that out there as well.
It's interesting, the removal of the qualification. The reason why it happened, and Adrian's 100% point of view, is because of COVID, racing opportunities were lessened. And although in the States there are a lot of opportunities to qualify, in other countries, especially like the UK and countries where OCR is not quite so developed, we didn't want to limit anyone's opportunity to be able to take part. But also I know that people value the qualification a lot, and it makes them feel like it's worth more if they have to really, really work for it.
Absolutely. And one thing I hope, too, you at home appreciate is you'll see some of these athletes and they're kind of resting a little bit, shaking out their arms, kind of taking their time, whereas the pros were jumping right on. So when you do it, especially as an age group athlete this weekend myself, I'll see some of these athletes do these courses and just at such a much greater speed than what I'm able to do it at, right? And I feel like I'm redlining, going absolutely all out, and I can how could I possibly imagine going any faster? Right.
Well, the way I'll explain it is, I'm not an endurance athlete. I was a very good sprinter when I was younger, so I like doing short, fast running, and I'm still a reasonable sprinter, but I don't like running long distance. Last year, when we had the much longer finish line straight, so we kind of went from Ricochet to an A-wall to the finish line, I would catch the athletes at Ricochet and run with them, and I would be running pretty darn fast. And I can run fast for short periods, This is at the end of a race, and they still have that in the tank. And
Yep.
I'm finishing, and I'm like, whew, I'm a little bit puffed there. So that's the speed that they're running at.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've had more of the women coming through the confidence climb. I'm just checking. Yeah, up to the top 16 for sure. Coming through confidence climb, top 19. So what we were looking at there was Lindsay Webster, Nicole Miracle, Annie GB. Rose Wetzel is now on the results. We have fixed that.
Awesome.
She is up there. That is wonderful.
Oh, great. All right.
She was 2 seconds behind Annie Doobie.
That would have stunk to have her run such a great race.
I know. She's running.
not
She's
be
coming
on
in
it.
2 seconds behind
Wow,
Annie. This could
okay.
be her podium.
Yes, absolutely. So we have really it's two battles right now with two athletes right on each battle, right? Nicole and Lindsay for the win right now, and then Annie and Rose for fourth, and then hopefully Mao DeSuter can put her nose in it and make that third place podium battle an interesting one.
Indeed. So Maud was coming in. Well, she was a minute behind on confidence
yeah.
climb. It's going to be tough for her to make that ground up.
Right.
But she is a very, very strong athlete.
Yes.
So let's not discount her. The next athlete coming after was over a minute and like 40 behind. So,
right. But still, all it takes is still a different. We haven't had really any rigs yet for the women's race.
True.
All it takes is a little slip up, and sometimes you get shaken, your confidence goes a little bit. It might be a little bit chilly if you're waiting around at a rig. And actually, here we're getting a shot as the ATV goes by. The force 5 over under can be a difficult one as well. I'm not sure where exactly that one is. This was.
I wish we had a mat across the middle of the course, like across that ridge.
Right.
So this is stairway area. Where we're seeing on the screen currently, that's stairway 3.0, which is 24. We've not had, actually 24, 23, depends which side they're on the mountain. No, it's 24. We've not had any of the men showing up on the timing mats yet for cargo crawl, which comes a fair amount before stairway. So
that's what we'll be sharply have some eyes on the results, constantly refreshing for you to get the most accurate, up to date results here. So we'll see what happens.
It's amazing that. I mean, these mountains are tough. These poor little ATVs. I was in one the other day, and they're like going up the mountain.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, whee! But to be able to keep up with these athletes, we are using cars. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, it's absolutely necessary, right? Because some of these are some of the best trail runners, in the country or in the world. So
I've worked with crews in Europe. They do it slightly differently, and they do have athletes as rabbits, and what they do is they run the whole course with the athletes. But the athletes that we're talking about who are rabbiting are people like David Labrosse, who is, he's currently in Madrid this weekend leading a team for the Madrid 3K. Like, he is a top tier athlete, so that means he's then sacrificing his race to be doing this. There's a lot in it.
And here we have a shot of the Force 5 rig right there. That's driving away now, but which
It's over there. I think it's up there, maybe.
Yeah, we're just trying to find it on the map. So Force 5 rig is number 26. We've got a couple of obstacles that are really close together, 22, 23 on one side of the lake, follow around the lake to number
like you're
24.
mentioning, Francesca, too, you can see now the water is how crystal blue that is. So beautiful. Stuff you probably viewers at home don't see anywhere that you live.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like water in the mountains. I love the mountains. I love water, but I love the mountains.
And we have another cluster of obstacles here. It looks like this is Gibbons, is what it seems to be. No?
I think this is like the rig, 2023 rig.
Okay.
It's hard to see because, again, the sun in the picture is not entirely clear. We've still not had the male athletes come through on cargo crawl.
Which is obstacle 20.
So we may be waiting quite a while here for anyone to come through. And unfortunately, the last timing we got for the women was there's this big gap of almost like double between confidence climb and cargo crawl. So we don't have eyes for quite a long time. So I think, pardon me, it's so dry and hot here and I shout so much I start to lose my voice. I think I think everyone at home is probably going to have to put up with us gesturing for a while whilst we wait for these athletes to cross his rig. I do apologize.
I see Pendulum over there, and then this obstacle. This one might be the 2023 rig, possibly.
I think that's the 2023
looks
rig.
a little unique, which of course makes sense, being the 2023 rig, new rig for this year. And let's talk about some of this this terrain here. It looks to be like it's hard to tell what the packing is on it. Is it soft? Is it hard? Hard to really tell. You're going to see a lot of the athletes in VJ shoes.
Yes.
Right. That's going to be for the most part. And you'll see there that sun is quite glaring. But
I think this terrain is some of the better terrain that we have on the course, as far as I'm aware that I've been out on. The beginning and the kind of right side of the mountain, it's very loose and very rocky. This is more kind of compact.
Yes, absolutely.
You've got less of the kind of brush, less of the little things that you can trip over. It's slightly more flat and less uneven.
Yeah,
and after this, it's downhill for a long time. So this could be another place where we see, as we were saying about Leon with the good downhill running, this could be a chance for him as well to catch up some key moments.
I remember last year I was looking at Tyler Veerman's Strava segment for that downhill that we had in Stratton last year, and he ran a 4:35 mile on that downhill segment. Of course, different race, different part of the country, but still very so. Some of these athletes are going to be running, 4 mid pace down some of this terrain.
What was who was I speaking to yesterday? It's Manuel Defoe who came third in the 3K. So as I mentioned before, he's from Switzerland. So he comes from an elevation and he has some of the best mountains in the world to train on. I'm a little bit biased. I love Switzerland.
Yes.
So he shouldn't be a stranger to this kind of environment, but he was kind of trying to explain to me what it feels like on the legs. He was like, it almost feels like when you're going downhill, that you're going as slow as you are uphill because your legs are slumped.
Yes.
He's French native speaking, but yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say. Like your muscles are so hard, it's hard to get that control going downhill, especially when we can see some of this kind of terrain.
Sometimes even going quickly downhill, you feel that G-force, and you almost feel like you're out of control, almost like you're going too fast in a vehicle. Even
I have a friend who's an excellent endurance runner. He does multiple day. His last event was a race called Tour de Gion, and it was 350 kilometers, I think, in the Italian mountains, and he loves downhill running. He really, really loves. He marches uphill and runs downhill. And anytime I've seen him do it, it's just a case of it's almost like a muppet. Like during a Rachel from Friends, and it's just like just let yourself go.
Yeah,
just go with it and keep your balance.
Exactly. Yeah. Some people will flap the arms like a windmill to try to help with that.
It requires very different muscles in your legs as well. Though, like you have to be engaged in the right things and very strong knees too.
Yes.
And of course, you've got to be able to rely on your shoes.
Right. Yeah. Be confident in those steps. Right. And that's why I mentioned a lot of people are wearing those VJs, particularly VJ Extreme 2 is what I'm seeing on a lot of athletes and a couple of Sparks as well. So we're still waiting here for some.
We see a little bit of snow there in the corner, which is.
Cargo crawl first.
Wow.
So we're getting some news. We're getting some news on the cargo crawl. We've had Ryan Atkins come through, so we've had a little bit of a change there. He's overtaken Tyler, and it looks like we have Ian Hosick in second in the cargo crawl. Sorry, I've realised we're on the screen there, and all you can see is top of my hat. And let's have a look. Is there anyone on the third? No. So it's Ryan and Ian coming through. 20 seconds between Ryan and Ian.
Wow. Yeah, so very close still. And incredible that they made a move on Tyler Veerman and Fernando Valenzuela.
It will be interesting to see because when we saw the Fit Fighter carry, we saw Ryan and we saw Leon ahead of Tyler. Now, Tyler, we know, has, well, I am not aware of any injuries or issues Tyler's been having. So there's nothing that I'm aware of that could be holding him back. So I'd be interested to know what happened for that switch to happen. Ooh. So I just heard on the we've got Mr. Jean on main stage. He is absolutely wonderful, and we just heard in the background Lindsay Webster is currently in first, crossing the ridgeline. They must be able to see from where they are. If you excuse me for a second, I'm going to stick my head up.
Yeah,
I want to see this.
Try to see if
we've got a wonderful assistant here who's feeding us results as they happen, and she's just gone to have a look to see if we can see what if there's anyone on the ridgeline. But that is a view I don't really want to miss. Let's have a quick check on the results, see if any men have come through.
And meanwhile, on the women's side, you'll see on your screen that you got the top 10 there. Looks to be really not much shakeup. Looks like Julie Best has moved up a little bit, passing Caroline Colstow there for 7th. Calypso Sheridan 9, Katie Duke, the swimmer there who's taking the Deca world a little bit by storm there, and around the top 10. It was nice to see.
I'm surprised to see Calypso in 9th.
Yeah, I was expecting her to be a little bit higher, but she really has bounced almost a similar way as Chris Rogowski did, right? Very similar, where she has just come out of nowhere and done really well at Go Ruck games, at Deca Fits, at Savage races. So, but maybe she'll have some time to still move up because we're still probably for the women about halfway through the race, if that. Maybe even
true.
a little bit
There's
less.
still plenty of time, and as we saw, this moment is kind of where the changes happened within the men.
Right. Yeah. So
Leon is in 3rd currently.
Wow.
So Leon, as we mentioned, he is a short distance runner.
Yeah.
He is known for his grip strength and running flat. He is not a distance or endurance runner. So to have him in 3rd currently is incredibly exciting. And Fernando is currently in 4th behind him. A reasonable gap, like 26 seconds between the two of them.
Okay.
Which is not inconsiderate.
And what about the gap between Atkins and Hosick on there?
So Atkins and
little
Hosick, we're
ways.
looking at 20 seconds between Ryan Atkins and Ian Hosick, and then we're looking at about 3 minutes for Leon.
Wow.
So there's a big gap there between the top 3, but it's the top 3 is the podium.
Yes.
So is there a chance that Fernando can overtake Leon? Absolutely. Absolutely. It ain't over till it's over, as we always say.
Yeah.
And then Igor, this is the first time that we've seen him placing it, so perhaps he had an issue with his chip as well, because we've not seen him. He's in 5th. He was one of the athletes that placed.
Here comes Atkins right now, coming down and looking so strong. Is Atkins?
Igor was one of the athletes that kind of signed up really late. And we just lost a bit for us aware of yesterday, but he is a fast athlete.
Yeah, and then Igor has been on the podium the past 2 races in 2022 on 3K and 15K. So Igor had a really great weekend.
Ian really pulling it out the bag this weekend, isn't he? Wow.
No problems for Atkins
Absolutely
on that
moved
rig.
that through so quickly.
Yeah.
So, just a quick shout out to Jack here. That's Jack Goras. He is one of our photographers. All the really great pictures that you see going out, that is him running around. He has, God knows how many cameras that kid has. So,
and then here comes Atkins up on what I believe is Pendulum now. Yep, down. Yep.
So 6th and 7th, we have Tyler Verman and Ethan Brown with just 2 seconds between them.
Okay.
I am surprised to see Tyler sitting in 6th.
Yeah, me too. Because like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, he was one of our top athletes to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Right, giving that, like Ian smartly using that water station, right? Like for this kind of race, you want to use the water stations for sure if you can. Yeah, but also I think right now for Ian, he desperately does not want to lose sight of Ryan because he does not want second. As much as he was so happy to get second yesterday at the 3K, he wants to win. He's not running for second place. So the longer he can stay on top of Atkins, the better.
So Ryan currently sitting in 1st in 15K. For years, he was always the bridesmaid, never the bride on the 15K. Could this be the year that he finally takes it?
Yeah, and same thing even for his Spartan World Championship as well. He has that one win, I believe, in 2021 in Abu Dhabi, but I think he has 6 second-place finishes in Spartan World Championships in 2020 in his whole career. So
it was. I always felt like it was a bit harsh. It's kind of like he was always on John's tail, always on John's tail. Like if John wasn't there, he would have taken it. And then some new athletes kind of came along.
Right.
The athletes kind of developed more, and he didn't get to take it. And I love Ryan as well. I know I say I love everyone. I do love everyone. We are so fortunate in this sport to have.
Is so great.
Yeah, and he's a wonderful guy. Both him and Lindsay, like they're such a great couple of people, and I want him to do well as well.
I'm actually very curious. Oh, this is like.
So this is Stairway. This is Stairway.
Okay.
It's so different. So I don't know if you saw the live we did with Adrian the other day. It's like it's not even Stairway 4.0. It's almost completely new.
And do you know, are feet allowed on that obstacle?
I would say no.
Probably no. Okay.
No, I think it'd be harder to get your feet up there than to just do it with your hands.
I've seen an obstacle that's kind of a hybrid between that and high road traverse that I've used my feet on before. So unsure if feet were allowed there.
So here we go, over under. I was going to say, very few obstacles are you allowed to use your feet on.
But this
Obviously,
one.
over under is one of them that you can.
Yep.
25 of 38 were 1 hour and 2. So they started out really, really fast, these guys. This is looking a bit more how we'd expect in terms of timing.
Right.
We kind of expect the guys to come in, like an hour and a half-ish, an hour 25. We have a downhill, which they're probably going to take really fast, but then one more uphill. Ryan storming ahead.
Yeah, Hosick and Atkins were on that obstacle together. It looks like Hosick is definitely struggling a little bit on the dismount there because you have to get over the line.
It's a little bit of an ungainly obstacle, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to shimmy yourself backwards. And sometimes if you have a lot of skin actually and sticking to the obstacle, you can get a little stuck, or even a clothing item as well. So it can be a little bit tricky there.
We've had no word from the women yet, but as the men have only just gone through cargo crawl, we wouldn't be expecting to hear. And then the next mat is at 12 kilometers, which would be around, that's on the downhill. So we should be getting towards that quite soon.
So here's Atkins on the Force 5 rig.
Yep.
It's going to have some T ledges and some wheels that you can swing into. And then looks like he's going to hit this downhill. And I think Atkins is going to try to rip and he wants to be out of sight of Ian Hosick as badly as Hosick wants to stay on top of Atkins.
So it's quite interesting having the 3K first. What happened yesterday, obviously, we saw with Nicole and Lindsay, that has spurred Lindsay on. Not that she needs spurring on, but it's probably given that a little bit of extra fire. I spoke to Ryan yesterday after the race, and I was like, "Well done, dude." And he was like, you could tell he was a little bit disappointed in himself. So I think that's probably given him a little bit of fire as well.
Absolutely, for sure. And a formidable prize purse too. We didn't talk about the prize purse today.
Yeah, so the prize purse, we have increased the prize purse this year. There's also still a top secret prize that has not been announced and won't be announced until it is announced.
Oh, okay.
But the prizes for the 3K and the 15K are the same. It's 3,000 for first, 1,500 for second, and 750 for third.
Right.
So a pretty significant prize purse.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you could possibly podium like Ian Hosick is in line to do right now on both races, that's a solid weekend.
Yeah.
Definitely, more than most make it home, for sure. So,
well,
but well deserved, though, of course, right?
Absolutely. Well, this is the thing. They put in so much work throughout the year to be here. It's so difficult. This is what I kind of always say about OCR athletes. They are expected to perform as professional athletes without the money to do so.
Yep.
The sponsorship isn't there. It is for the Europeans. There are European athletes who have the sponsorship to survive as professional athletes. But in the US, and again, this is a conversation I had with Kempson that was really interesting. The way he kind of made sense to me was, in Europe, you're lots of small countries. Here we go, have an athlete coming through.
Yep. And let's see who this might be. This could be.
It looks like Leon, but where is his jacket?
Oh, it's
tucked around his waist.
Tucked around his waist. Yep.
So we have Leon coming through. Look at that grip strength of this man.
Yeah,
he's flying through that obstacle. I don't know if you remember seeing him. His height helps him here. Often it doesn't, but it helps him here. And his grip is insane. The way he can move through things, like Canyon last year. I don't know if you saw it. He was through in seconds. He has insane grip strength. He tries to teach other people as well. He sells his packages. It's called Get a Grip. So he is trying to train others.
Fourth place on his tail there. Is that possibly?
Is
that possibly Igor?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Because I didn't recall Igor having a ponytail there, but
Fernando Valenzuela.
Oh, that's it. Fernando. Okay.
Fernando.
Wasn't Fernando wearing a shirt though?
Maybe that's it around his waist.
Oh no, he's wearing a black shirt with like the Ecuador logo, like almost like a tank top. So I think that might have been Igor who took over fourth place. So Igor is coming in, storming ahead, and honestly, now
Igor was like 20 seconds behind him. But we don't know what happened at the obstacle syrup.
Like I mentioned before, in this kind of format with mandatory completion, all it takes is one little slip, right? And it's 20 seconds right there. Yep. So I think to your point, Francesca, I think this is Fernando here in fifth, just getting onto over under.
So they have hit the 12K marker. Ryan Atkins coming in first with Ian Hosick behind him, literally just 15 seconds behind him.
Like,
My brain didn't work for a
Math.
second.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, counting. So it looks like Atkins has just dismounted an obstacle that I can't really get an eye on at the moment.
So that would be, wow, if he's gone from the 12K marker to the obstacle, it must be 27 Valkyrie. Yep, that's Valkyrie.
That's Valkyrie. Yep, and there's Hosick.
Oh, so we should be able to see it.
Okay, we might. Yeah, we here from the booth, we might get a
as they go up. So
view.
that's the that's a sandbag carry there. I want to give another shout out to the rabbits that are out there currently and the guys helping them. We have Spartan staff that are driving them around in ATVs. Yesterday was a tricky day with the coverage. We struggled with technology and we struggled with the rabbits getting around. I totally apologise sincerely to everyone at home that was watching. I know it wasn't quite up to our standard. I'm really impressed with what they're doing out there today.
Yeah, I think it's been great.
Like, there are parts that we're just not going to be able to get to, like the bridge. We can't get to it, but they are just storming ahead, and it is so much work for them.
Yeah. I think for the viewers at home, we want to get to the exciting bits. We want to show you as much obstacle as possible because it is an obstacle race.
Absolutely.
Right. Maybe some of us can come across a little dry if they're just climbing, or, or even just running. Because on the camera, it doesn't look like they're going that fast, but they really are flying.
It really doesn't, does it? So we've not had Leon come through the 12K marker yet. Still Ryan and Ian kind of neck and neck there. Let me see.
And I really think Igor is going to make a move onto Leon. So
I don't want him to.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing against Igor, but I want Leon to get himself an OCRWC podium.
It's hard not to root for Leon out of this whole field, right? It is definitely a smile on his face. He loves this sport, but also in Leon's advantage is definitely going to be the obstacles for sure, right? I mean, you see Danish OCR, and those obstacles are ninja-esque, right?
We still have a lot of. I kind of got told off by some Europeans lately, Swedes team stream.
Okay.
For calling them technical obstacles because they were like, every single obstacle is technical.
Right.
What you mean is kind of grip, intense obstacles.
Well, if you're from the States, if you do an elite Spartan race, even at a regional level, the elites are not going to fail an obstacle except for the spear toss, which is a hit or miss, but they're not going to fail usually monkey bars or a rig for the most part because they're quite easy, right? Compared to Savage race, a little bit more difficult, but the Danish races, all those obstacles.
And I'm not getting that result here, but that's what I've just been told.
Yep. So
I'll try and update my page.
We have another picture of Hosick running, and also his run form. They call Ian Hosick the mad scientist, right? Because he is so concentrated on form and gait and mechanics.
Okay.
And he is a coach as well, and I hear a lot of his athletes talking about how much he emphasizes that in their running. So looks like they might be getting towards the bottom of the mountain here. So we're going to be kind of looking around there. Looks like we're approaching.
Oh yeah, so we should see them coming around the
bottom. Might be monkey
soon.
in the middle, possibly. Looks like I do see a twister into monkey bars into twister.
Yeah, so after that is a sandbag carry, which we can see here from our booth that goes up and down. It's not as long as it has been in some races. Igor has hit the 12K marker a minute behind and seconds behind Leon, actually.
Yep.
So this is going to get really exciting for third place. I think we're safe for the first two. See Ian overtaking Brian.
I don't know. I mean, I
there's 20 seconds behind.
There's one obstacle, right? Because you just saw Atkins dismount Urban Sky.
Yep.
Right as Hosick was getting onto it. And you should see Jack Morris running around too with the camera, like really full on
Lindsay Webster has crossed the cargo crawl. So we should see Nicole behind her very shortly.
Yeah. Here's the hoping, right? Because we want to see a great race. So,
absolutely.
But I mean, Lindsay's running ability on mountains is incredible, and now you see Hosick and Atkins going up a big climb here.
Yeah. No more athletes through on the 12K marker for the men yet. And we've not seen Nicole on cargo crawl yet.
Yeah,
They were seconds between them.
Right, yes, that's a big question, is what kind of gap did they put? And even they were together for the 3K for a lot of it. In the back half of the race, Lindsay did put a good gap on her in the running, but then, of course, the obstacle proficiency out of Nicole brought her back into it enough to make that big move on the 8th cargo at the end.
We could see sitting here our little ATV pootling up the hill, ready to catch the athletes when they come off. And we can just see over there them, Ryan. It's so strange to see them in real life after watching them on a screen.
Right.
It's exciting.
Yes.
Like, they're actually real people. We can see, oh, what's happened? Oh, have they got a crawl on that?
Yeah,
they're both on their, they're both really low.
Yeah, they're dragging their sandbag. So
oh my God.
I believe it.
Ian is just overtaken.
Well, I mean, if you
Ryan.
look here at the map, Francesca, you'll see 29 as a sandbag carry with crawl.
So
however, they look like they look to be more hunched over, not on all fours.
Oh no, Ian did not overtake Ryan. It just looked like it from the algorithm. But he is seconds behind him.
It appears to be very, very close between Ian Hosick and Ryan Atkins right now.
Unless anything's going on with the results, I've still not had any more women going through the cargo crawl.
Wow.
We do have Noah Busher in 5th on the 12K.
Really?
That excites me. He's 18.
Wow, so
he is a young athlete. He is very strong. I wanted to see him do well yesterday. He is doing much better today. Maybe he's more of a bit more endurance. I say endurance, knowing full well these athletes do 100 miles in a weekend.
Yep.
He is about a minute behind Igor. So the top 5 for the men currently is Ryan Atkins and Ian Hosick, almost neck and neck. Leon a minute behind him. Then Igor just about a minute behind, and Noah another minute behind that.
And Noah's actually also an accomplished ninja athlete as well. So he should have no problem at any of the obstacles. And I believe he does train in Ohio out of a couple of really nice ninja gyms out there.
So with those three, the 3, 4, 5 position.
Yeah, we have Leon approaching, monkey in the middle right now. And he raises his arms, like so excited, having a good time.
I love
that is
this
Leon's
man.
brand.
I love he takes a top step.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's a good advantage, right?
Oh shit!
Oh,
shit.
no.
Sorry.
Oh, just getting
so sorry.
Getting so invested there.
I am.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm really scared that he was going to fall.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
him go.
I mean, he's a little flashy, but not doesn't seem as fast as he has been in the past. But just,
I mean,
he's having fun though at the same time. And that's the key, right? A lot of I hear a lot of people who rabbit right for some of the
there's
top.
Manuel running alongside, getting some footage. I guess he was our 3rd place podium yesterday.
Yep.
So there he is. He's saying, "Cheer me on, guys. Cheer me on. I am here."
Yep.
And I love that. He's got a bit of ego, and I think it's 100% deserved.
Here
we go. We're watching the athletes on the mountain. Ryan has dumped his sandbag and is running fast. Ian is there. He's just dumped his sandbag and he's catching up. But we're looking probably about a 10-second gap between them. On the way up, it was meters.
Right.
So of those top 5, we've still not seen any women on the cargo crawl aside from Lindsay. That is a big gap. You're probably going to hear a lot of screaming in the background now as they start to come into the
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
So of those top 5, we know that Leon and Noah are very good on their technical.
Okay, here's so Ryan is on sketch now.
Oh, there we go. Oh. That looks slightly tricky for him, but he managed it absolutely fine.
Yep. That's one
See
thing
the little bit of stickiness at the end for him.
Yes, and that's one thing too. You have to put back the sketch obstacle here. You take these implements, these hooks, and slide them across a bar. And now it's important to know that you have to move your you have to bring your hooks back to the where
absolutely same with this and Gibbons.
Yes, yep. Always return your implements back to the beginning, so that way the next athlete can take them.
So part of the, there's always the issue with the height of athletes. We've got to always make sure that the obstacles are at a height where the shorter athletes are able to reclaim their grips.
Right.
Because we've had it in the past. We have made mistakes in the past. We've had it in the past with Gibbons where they couldn't reach. I mean, that's not an obstacle.
Right.
Not being tall shouldn't be an obstacle.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a hindrance, right, to completing an obstacle. And
being tall, being short is always going to be a hindrance in some ways. Being average,
sure,
is
in some ways,
easiest.
right, but doesn't make it like impossible to complete an obstacle.
I don't know if something is going on with the timing because we've not seen any women come through.
Right.
I'm not sure if we've got any chance of getting eyes on the women up on the mountain. We can see Leon there with his sandbag running by himself.
Yeah, and it is quite a big gap, right? Because he had to come down. He's finished going up. He's currently crawling with a sandbag now.
Yeah, that's a little crawl bit there.
And this is an area where, unfortunately, I find Leon could likely struggle, right?
So I do love it when he posts
athlete.
Videos of running, and he loves the one with the audio. It's like, I only got little legs.
Yeah, the meme there, right, for sure.
Okay, so you're gonna wait for them to.
Oh no, Nicole has come through cargo crawl. 7 minutes. behind Lindsay.
Oh.
Had trouble with an obstacle. There must have been something going on there.
Well, I mean, there are.
They were seconds. They
Yeah.
were. Nicole came off the rope climb 1 second ahead of Lindsay.
And then even the dunk wall on confidence climb was also very close. I mean, you think, like, again, going back to the map there, you look at Snake Pit as a potential issue, Giddens as a potential issue. With Nicole got injured, right, in 2020 at Hildervat on dismounting off an obstacle.
Yeah.
Right, so you have to imagine she might be a little bit tentative to go through and to do obstacles, right? In practice, she can't really land on her leg dismounting.
So I mean, same with Leon.
Right. Oh yeah, that's
Leon,
right. He broke
Leon,
his
yes, in the space.
fibula. Yeah. Tibia maybe. Well, somewhere in his leg. He broke his
and
leg.
he's had struggles
savage
with confidence as well.
Yeah.
So landing off obstacles, jumping.
Because it is a dismount. You swing the bell, you have to land down.
Yeah.
But also uneven terrain. Right.
Yeah.
So,
but he's doing very well. So we've had no more women come through yet on there. But let's just talk quickly about Tyler. He was leading very strong to start with. He came through the 12K marker 8th.
Okay.
So he's gone from 1st to 8th, and we're looking at a gap of 6.5 minutes between Ryan and Tyler.
Yeah, and Tyler, actually, I was working with him as an athlete for a few months there. He's you got something going on there?
We can see on the, I'm so sorry to interrupt you there, we just saw there's 1, 2, 3 athletes coming through on the sandbag crawl. I can't see it.
Yeah, we're currently not watching the broadcast, but we are watching the next to the
Leon is just,
so we can see it from our booth here.
Leon's just tackling the descent on the sandbag, whilst the other 3 athletes behind him, which we can assume to be Igor, Noah, and Fernando, are just starting with the sandbags or about to pick them up. So Leon still has a fair gap on them. That's going to take them a while to get up. Like, even though that's a gap of what, like
2 minutes?
Meters?
Yeah, right.
It's the difference between he's going downhill, they're just starting the uphill with the sandbag.
Yep. And hopefully Leon knows that it's not as comfortable as he might think it is. So hopefully Leon can really drop the hammer on
It's kind of helpful for him to see how close people are behind him, so he knows how much he has to push.
Yeah, carries are a really nice way to see where your competition is currently at. For sure, right? Even though you can put down the sandbag and see someone just pick up a whole sandbag ahead of them, you know how long that sandbag just took you. Also, I know I've mentioned his name a couple times because I'm familiar with him from being from the same area, but it looks like Grady Jackson's also in the mix there.
So you mentioned him from the start, and he was coming through, Grady Jackson, 10th on the...
He's 10th, okay.
So that we...
So not quite.
Here we go. We've got a picture of Leon now.
Okay.
But the athletes on the sandbag crawl, there's quite a tight group of them.
Yes.
1 and 2, close together. Bit of a gap to Leon, and then...
That's another gap.
There's a huge pack chasing him down right now, and he's going to be feeling that pressure.
So Leon is the prey, and everyone else is the predators right now.
Basically,
he's trying to not get eaten.
So this is for Leon. This is the first year that he has taken as a professional athlete. He's actually he's a professor of statistics. In Copenhagen.
Okay, wow.
He's an incredibly intelligent man, as well as being a fantastic sports person. So he's actually focusing entirely on sports for this year to see what he can achieve as a professional athlete and to see how it feels. And as we were saying earlier, a lot of athletes, they have to work day jobs as well. Here we've got eyes on Ryan, and that's one of our rabbits behind, not an athlete. Annie Doobie has passed the cargo crawl 3 minutes and 30 seconds behind Nicole Miracle.
Okay.
Oh, that's a nice shot of legs, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
I got some really creepy shots of Ryan last year, like slow-mo. I said them to him. I was like, I'm really sorry. I look really weird. But, he's a very photogenic man, as is his wife.
Yes.
Still looking so strong. We know, though, it's so nice when athletes allow themselves to be vulnerable as well. Both of them spoke yesterday about how hard this was for them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of the saying, is it never gets easier, you just push harder.
Here we have Canyon. You can even see Ryan Atkins walking up to the canyon, which is honestly kind of rare for Atkins. Right? So
Canyon's a tricky obstacle. Like, he's quite long, Ryan. You've really got to scrunch your body up. You see how difficult this is when you see the age groupers and the opens do it, where they, they're doing figure of 8 and other sorts
chicken
of things.
winging.
Chicken winging. I can't wait to see Leon come through this. It's spectacular seeing him come through this.
Yeah,
obstacle.
especially like we mentioned before, him being a shorter athlete as well, right, is going to impact that.
So we just got Rose coming through cargo crawl about a minute after Annie. So the top 4 currently for the women is Lindsay, Nicole, Annie, and Rose, with a gap of over 10 minutes between first and fourth place. I apologize, we've not had eyes on the women for a while. I think one of the cameras that was following the women has dropped. It's so difficult managing this. We've got our producer Jason next to us. Big shout out to him. He's constantly working, pressing a million different buttons, picking the screen that we get to see whilst talking to the rabbits out on course. By the way, so all of this that we do, it's all kind of self-funded.
Yep.
They have recently set up a Patreon where you can contribute if you want to see more coverage. I know we get criticism for the coverage not being sometimes as good as people hope. Everyone is doing this kind of on their own dime and on their own time. Oh, I'm hearing some screaming.
Hold the phone.
So basically, Patreon, if you want us to do better, help us.
Yep. So a lot of men, it looks like I might see Fernando ahead of a shirtless athlete, which could be Noah. Oh, it's weird. I see the arm sleeve. It was Noah
So
Busher
Tyler is just there. So Tyler's got the arm sleeves.
Tyler's wearing arm sleeves, right? Okay, now we have the Spartan Hercules hoist, which is going to be very familiar for our U.S. athletes because Spartan in the U.S. is the biggest
We have this
brand.
in the UK.
Yeah, the UK as well. Okay, of course, but I know Spartan in particular is biggest in the US, right? It probably has the biggest share.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of it in the UK. That's one of our biggest brands in the UK. France, and Spain, and some of Italy. But in terms of like Northern Europe, so when we're looking Sweden, Denmark.
Yeah. You'll have
Spartan
other
is
brands.
Not prominent. Yes,
right.
We have other brands like Toughest.
Yep.
There are lots of local races in Denmark. They have a lot of small local races constantly, also with good prize pots.
12K.
Lindsay has hit the 12K marker.
Okay.
So I mean, we've still not had Maud come through cargo crawl, and Lindsay's hitting the 12K. So those women are putting a big gap between them.
Now here you'll see a really nice shot of Hosick running through some single track here. And Hosick being from Idaho, I think he runs a lot on this kind of terrain. So he should feel really comfortable. I'm not sure how he does at the I mean, obviously he's doing quite well right now, but not sure how he is handling the altitude. But obviously, seems to be hanging in there pretty well. Has a nice ride going.
I would never have put Hosick in the top 3.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to see it.
Yeah, I feel like he's always. I mean, because he's been mostly a Spartan athlete in the past, because that's been the prominent brand in the U.S. in terms of competitiveness, series-wise, and he's always been in the top 10, top 5 even, but never really cracked a podium very often. So to see him do it in the 3K and then have him be in great position to at least take second and possibly even chase down Atkins, you never know. In the 15K is really great to see, and I know a lot of his athletes are here, so I'm sure they'll be happy to see their coach really, lead by example, should I say.
We can see, not on the picture here, which is a bit messy, I'm afraid, but from our position, we can see, I think that's Ryan jumping up a hill. Is it? Our next marker where we'll get some eyes is the barbed wire crawl, and we're not far away from that. That is obstacle number 34, and we know that we've seen
Ryan Ducannon.
Drop zone we've not had eyes on yet.
And I think we're going to wait around. This camera here might wait at the monkey in the middle, possibly for Lindsay, right? She should be coming through.
Yes, she should be coming through soon.
The monkey in the middle quite
We
soon.
still haven't had Maud D'Souza cross cargo crawl. And Nicole has not crossed the 12K marker yet, but she was a fair amount behind Lindsay, so we wouldn't be expecting to see her crossing that just yet anyway.
Right.
Lindsay has really put her foot down here. I can see Tyler there running up the mountain. He's running really strong, arms pumping. The athlete behind him is kind of hands on knees marching.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of how I get up a hill. It's like I'm using my legs for support.
Well, yeah, right. You're pushing off your hand off your quad to make it more power. One thing I like to do is I like to count my steps sometimes. So do 10 seconds of running, 20 seconds or 20 steps rather of hiking, and go back and forth there. It's a good way to stay engaged on a long hill as well. And just try to keep moving forward. Try not to take breaks. Right, you'll probably see some age groupers later in the day sitting down, stretching out some cramps.
I sometimes like to pretend I've got like ski poles, hiking poles in my hand, and I find like if I kind of march with my hands and almost dig them in, as if I'm using them to help me up the hill, almost help propel me forward. It's so Maud has come through on the cargo crawl, but no one has come through on 12K. So for the women, it's still Lindsay, Nicole, Annie, Rose, and Maud, but we're looking at really big gaps. Maud came through the cargo crawl 9.5 minutes after Nicole, and Nicole was a fair amount behind Lindsay.
And looks like we're getting another shot of Ian running. So although previously, for most of the race, Atkins was in the frame, but now Atkins has been out of the frame the past few minutes, so not too sure if the gap has grown between Atkins and Hosick.
I'm trying to look up the hill. I can see a red shirt on the hill, but
So,
I don't know if that's
yeah.
an athlete or if it's a crew member.
Mm-hmm.
Cargo crawl. Calypso Sheridan is currently in 6th on the cargo crawl, and here we've got eyes on Lindsay.
Here's eyes on Lindsay. Yep, looking so smooth. I mean, she's also taking the Sky running Worldwide Storm as well. She's done less OCR, right? The past, and that's maybe why she had a little bit of inefficiencies on some of the obstacles in the 3K.
Yes,
right, compared to Nicole, done much less OCR racing.
But when it comes to the mountains, she's
a beautiful
a queen.
runner, right? I mean, and again, Lindsay being a prominent Spartan athlete, she should look really smooth on this here, right?
I mean, she has time to take her time here.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like, if I'm Lindsay Webster, I'm not trying to make a mistake, basically, right? And waste any energy doing that. Trying to get it through efficiently, but as cleanly as possible. Ooh, she misses the handle there, transitioning to the second set of twister.
So last year she did the 15K in 147. The year before it was 156. In Stratton, we were lower down, but we had more elevation.
Correct,
gain.
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Elevation gain,
Yeah, I was in the pro race, and I remember how smoothly Lindsay and Crystal Grosky, they were together. It was a great race last year between them two. Where just went right by me on the hill. And I thought I was working at my max capacity. So
it's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah. So some of these men that are getting passed by Lindsay here are really, really strong in their own right. Right. It's very impressive.
Absolutely.
So, and if I can get any names on some of these athletes, but I'd be happy to give them a shout out as well, because they definitely deserve one.
We've got we've not had any men on the timing come through the cargo at the barbed wire crawl yet. So Caroline Senior is about 30 seconds behind Calypso Sheridan on the cargo crawl, in 7th place. So yeah, we've had the top 7 come through cargo crawl, only 1 woman come through the 12K. Cargo crawl is at 8.6K, and the 12K mark is obviously at 12K. So you can kind of see the difference that Lindsay has, even with the top 10. Ryan Atkins has gone through barbed wire crawl. So we're waiting for eyes there on Ian, Leon, and see what then happens after the top 3.
And I'm peering between the 10th there.
Oh, he's passed it, and he is running so strong, and I'm struggling to see anyone behind him.
Yeah.
But that could be a case if Ian is down on the ground and hasn't stood up yet. Is Ian in blue?
Ian is in blue.
We can see Ian running. Literally, they kind of passed each other parallel. Ian is heading towards the barbed wire crawl, and Ryan is on his descent now.
Yeah.
So he's got.
This really is Ryan's. Honestly, this is really Ryan's race to lose. It seems.
So this is where
point.
the obstacles get mixed up a bit. So on the map it says barbed wire crawl triumph. It is not. Urban Skies also moved earlier, as we mentioned. That was because of ground instability.
Yep. So
now powered by Kachava, followed by Triumph and Cargo Climb, and Ryan's really on the home straight now, ready to take that. This will be his first OCRWC 15K podium, and I could not be happier for him if that's what he's going to take.
Yep. So
Ian's just crossed barbed wire.
About a minute behind Atkins. So basically, as long as Atkins is a mistake away, or as long as she doesn't make a mistake, basically.
I think you can hear that, Mr. Jean in the background, getting very excited. I have my eyes up on the mountain trying to see. Hopefully we can get our rabbits down to the finish line, ready to catch them coming through. We do have a camera there ready to see what happens. And we currently have eyes on Ryan. He is coming, he's currently, the pro women is 1 hour 18.
So have to assume if it started right at 8 o'clock, his time was 9:32. So should be right around the hour and a half mark for Atkins on Ricochet. And this is basically on the 3K course, right? So just Ricochet,
so here we go, Ricochet.
Right into Triumph, right into the Cargo Climb. So locking off beautifully there. Very efficient.
Women's results, we've not seen any women go through on 12K yet, so Lindsay is still miles ahead. We've not got Leon on the barbed wire crawl yet either. So here we go, look at him, look at that happy face.
Yeah, you can see the smile, because I think he sees that Hosick is not
there is nothing here for him to fail.
Yep. Yep, here goes.
Here he goes.
Yep.
This will be an incredible result for Ryan Atkins. Absolutely wonderful. The King and Queen of OCR hopefully both taking first place.
Yeah, and then it's really nice to see Atkins add to his decorated resume already with an OCR World Championship. His first, I don't know if he won a 3K before, but definitely his first 15K win.
Here we go.
Yeah, but here we go. We got a great shot. Yep, and he's celebrating at the top of the cargo net here, flipping down it.
Quite a different moment from when his wife Lindsay was running yesterday.
Yes.
He's there with miles ahead of any other athlete, and that is Ryan Atkins taking the time to enjoy it, crossing the finish line. Absolutely well-deserved first for the OCRWC 15K 2023. That is Ryan Atkins. And Adrian there giving him his medal. He is going to be so happy for him. Adrian is such a fan of Ryan and Lindsay, and they have both been such supporters of Adrian and the brand. He works so hard. He deserves this. He absolutely deserves this.
And then it sounds like we got Ian Hosick coming through soon. And look at Atkins just doubled over there, right? Definitely.
We know this hasn't been easy for them.
Right, no. And Hosick, I mean, gotta say, ran a phenomenal race. He's gotta be thrilled with
two places. So
2 seconds.
Ryan wasn't in the top 3 yesterday.
Right.
Ian has now taken 2 second places this weekend, both on the 3K and a 15K. And that's quite astonishing. That's quite a feat to be able to perform so consistently across
you're not going to see
distances.
You're not going to see that in regular like road running or track running. You're not going to see.
Well done, Ian. That is fantastic. Second place male athlete is Ian Hosick from the USA, taking second yesterday and taking second again today. So just quickly update you on the women. Nicole Miracle did pass the 12K a couple of minutes ago as Ryan was coming through.
Actually, if that's the case, we should likely see Nicole somewhat soon doing the sandbag.
Yeah. We don't have any information on
Leon. Yeah, but
was that him? Can I see him on the mountain?
It was a solid 3-minute gap between Leon and Hosick.
Incredible racing so far from everyone. Like everyone has been pushing so hard, and we've seen some really big changes from who started out. Like I say, Ryan was quite disappointed yesterday with what happened. He knows he can perform better than that. Last year, he was disappointed as well. He's an incredibly accomplished athlete, and he is capable of so much. And today, he's really, really pulled it out the bag. He has been with us for years and years and years. And every time he stands on that podium, it's deserved. But there's nothing like finally getting to that top step.
Correct. Yes, very exciting for Atkins for sure.
7 women have still only gone through.
So we only have 7 women going through the cargo crawl. Those women really got slowed down by that midsection in the mountain there.
Yeah, and again, we don't know. There's some really tough obstacles.
But we do have Annie just coming through the 12K.
About 3 minutes, still 3:30 behind Nicole. So the difference between them at the crawl there and the 12K mark were about the same. And then Lindsay actually had lengthened her gap between her split on the 8
So the next eyes we're looking on for Lindsay will be the 12K
barbed wire.
Of course, barbed wire marker, which is 2.75K away from the 12K.
So, we'll definitely see if we can see any ponytails coming up the hill for the sandbag. I see where our women are at.
I see a little body there that could be her marching. Do you see all in black?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So Nicole. Lindsay's in black, right?
I think that's Lindsay on the mountain.
Yeah, that's probably. I think it might be Lindsay.
I think so.
Okay, because Lindsay's in black, Nicole is in blue, and then I think Annie's also in blue.
Leon's just come through the barbed wire crawl.
Okay, yep, here comes.
And he's running down. Yep. Leon has just come through the barbed wire.
This is gonna be a great moment for Leon, I think.
I'm. If he comes through third, you're losing me because I'm running down there, and I will be screaming if he's coming through third. But he has someone hot on his tail, so he has to make sure that he does not lose anything.
This might be Igor Belousov.
Yeah, absolutely might be, and it's very likely to be Igor.
If we can get some action on those 2 shots.
So yesterday, Leon was very, very happy. He knows Igor is a very, very fast athlete, and Leon was very happy to have placed ahead of him.
Yes.
So he's going to know he's on his tail. And then Igor has just crossed the barbed wire crawl 1 minute behind. Now, we are not far from the finish. The barbed wire crawl is 14.75k in. We saw how fast Ryan went from the barbed wire crawl to the finish. With Leon being chased with someone so close on his tail, there's a good chance he's really going to put his foot down.
Yes.
We know how competent he is technically. The chances of him slipping and falling are very, very slim. We don't have eyes on him right now. We're hoping to get some soon. But if we stand up, we can talk to you about it. I can see. Who's that I can see running down the mountain? Looks like it's a camera. There is a camera. There we go. We have Leon on screen. We have Leon on screen now.
Excellent. Thank you to our rabbits for getting over there for us.
Nice little bend in the road. Again, let's not forget, Leon had a big injury. He was in a cast. He had operations. So this downhill is tough for him, but look how strong he's running. I'm watching him in person now. He's just about to hit the Kachava ricochet. He should be absolutely fine on this obstacle. I cannot see. I'm not going to say it. Oh my god!
Yeah. And
I am so excited.
All these athletes also did just fine on these obstacles in the 3K. So there he goes, right for the bell. Nice dismount.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he is so happy. This is what you live for, right? Like, he's just absolutely thrilled. I'm sure he's getting a lot of word that he's in third place in a podium position. So we love to see that for Leon. He's already celebrating. This is great.
Leon, I'm so happy for him. Yeah. He has worked so hard.
Nothing like running through that festival area and soaking it in.
My heart is beating so fast right now. I am so overexcited. I'm actually about to cry.
There he goes.
Oh, he's enjoying this moment. Leon Comfort, the tiny Dane, climbing over the cargo net. This man has worked so hard over the years. And he deserves this third place.
That's awesome.
So much. Yes!
That's so great.
He enjoyed that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, with Ian giving him his medal.
I think it's going to be pretty cut up on his back there.
Is he, or is that a wire?
I don't know. Hard to see.
This is what I told Adrian I was going to cry this weekend.
That's great. That's so great for Leon.
So there we go. That was our top three. 2 American athletes, 1 Dane. This is a world championships.
I mean,
sorry, a Canadian.
Is from Canada.
I'm really overwhelmed right now.
And here's Igor Belousov coming in 4th. Obviously, a tough position to come in 4th, but I mean, an incredible race run by Igor. Right, last year finished on the podium both races, and then this time coming in 4th. I think he was 7th in the 3K. So really another nice performance out of Igor Belousov. Now we have Lindsay on Canyon. It's going to be one of the more difficult obstacles for her. Really incredible pull-up strength on there. Yeah, makes that bell.
So for the women, we had Lindsay, Nicole, and Annie have passed the 12Ks. We know Lindsay has, and Rose has just passed the 12K as well.
Yeah, and we have Francesca there getting emotional over the Leon win, right? Because we all know Leon, right, with his injury in Savage race. I believe that was in 2021, possibly. Right, completely broke his leg, stepping in a pothole really early in the Georgia Savage series race there, and he was out for quite a long time. And again, Leon just embodies what this sport's all about. Really loves it. And yeah, it looks like Tyler Veerman there with 5th place, right? So
he took a bit of an overtaking because he was in 8th.
Yep, and you love to see that, right? Because I'm sure coming off as the defending world champion, right, and having having some struggles. He could have easily just mailed it in for 8th, but that's not the kind of athlete that Tyler Goodman is, right?
So
he
Noah,
worked hard.
We've not seen Noah in quite a while. He was kind of in 4th for a while. He was in the top 5 for a while.
Yeah, it was definitely Noah and Fernando, right, in that 4-5 spot, and then looks like Veerman kind of overtook him there. There's Veerman getting his medal.
A little bit cut up himself.
Yeah, also a little cut up. So I mean, these athletes go through the barbed wire so aggressively.
Yeah.
Right, and here's Fernando.
This has been such an incredible race. I didn't think anything could overtake yesterday with that finish line with Nicole and Lindsay, but this has been amazing and such an unpredictable top 3 for that man.
Yeah.
I wanted Leon in that 3K yesterday. I wanted to see Manuel. I wanted to see Leon. I love Rylan. I wanted to see him there as well.
Oh, look at this race.
Oh, look, we've
at
got a bit of a competition going on
it's
here.
Like Noah Busher and Noah Busher and Ethan Brown. Ethan with a stumble.
We've got another one of these moments.
Here we go.
No, this is
Fernando. Still big, right? It's just Ethan Busher and Noah and Ethan Brown, excuse me, and Noah Busher. Looks like battling for 7-8. There's
I'm so sorry. I'm all sniffly now. The microphone is.
That's okay. I'll take over there. So looks like Noah was able to overtake Ethan for 7-8 there. So we have our top 8 men through. So we have, of course, as we mentioned, Atkins, Hosick, Don Kofit, Igor Belousov, Tyler Veerman, Fernando in 6th place, and then a really tight finish between Noah Busher and Ethan Brown for that 7-8 spot. And then here's Grady Jackson in 9th, having a really solid debut for Grady Jackson in the OCR World Championships, right? Again, given he's been more of a hybrid athlete this season, so to see him get a top 10 is really great.
Wonderful.
As well.
You were mentioning right from the start.
Yeah,
so thank you for bringing him up.
Of course, and definitely, a little bit of bias there, being that he's originally from my area. There, I've seen him a lot of races, and honestly, I'll jump into the elite heat sometime. And I'm like, Grady's here. Looks like it'd be a tough day for me. So, great to see Grady come through there.
So quickly talking about the women, we've had our top 7 through the 12K. Unless anyone else.
Ashley's just okay. I mean, and Ashley Heller's a name we haven't mentioned. She was
Oh
floating.
no, I don't have her on the 12K. Actually, I've got up to Calypso Sheridan in 7 on the 12K. And Lindsay still only on the 12K marker. We've not had her come through the barbed wire crawl yet, but we should be seeing her soon. And then there's a pretty huge gap between Lindsay and the rest of them.
Yes, absolutely.
And Lindsay currently does not know that Ryan has placed first.
Right.
So that moment when she crosses the line and she sees that they've both got first place and he has his first 15K podium, is going to be incredible.
Yeah. I think this happened at Abu Dhabi in 2021, Spartan, but a lot of times it's been, Lindsay and Ryan haven't been able to coordinate by getting on that first place podium.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often. They're often locked for the podium, but they're not usually on the same podium. So it's nice to see, husband and wife on the same step.
Okay, we're just getting word that Ashley was on the 12 and then is gone. No, we wouldn't know. The question coming through was, if somebody loses their band, would they no longer appear in the live tracking? I'm going to say no. They would still appear because it's not until we get to the end.
So we have DQ, right.
The way it works here is as you can see, Ryan's on this screen. That's our 100% completion. There is another timing mat. You have the original timing mat to cross the finish line, and then we have a secondary timing mat. And when an athlete crosses that secondary timing mat, and they can only do that being escorted, that's when we get the idea of, have you completed, have you not?
Mm-hmm.
If you cross that timing mat, then you are a completion. If you don't cross it, then you don't. So the live results would still be going. So it could just be an issue with the timing.
Yeah, like you see on your screen, Atkins doing an interview. And also, speaking of mandatory completion, for if you don't know at home, right, because again, I mentioned a lot of the U.S. Viewers might be more accustomed to Spartan or Tough Mudder, who they go up to completion, right? So what happens here is if you are unable to complete an obstacle, you get to retry it and
as
start
many
again,
times as you want.
as many times as you need, right? However, then you'll have to give up your band, and basically any athlete who finishes behind you with their band intact would then leapfrog you in the standings.
Absolutely, and for European athletes as well, there are a few of those who are new to the sport or more familiar with the way that I don't know if if you're
Yeah, somewhat.
So that's a 3-band system. It's incredibly complex. It sounds like the kind of game specialist students make it in the car. You have 3 bands, 1 attempt at an obstacle. Similar to Spark, you can attempt an obstacle. If you fail the obstacle, you lose a band.
There's Lindsay at drop
do that
zone.
twice, and then you have to run penalty loops. It's very complex.
Okay.
So all the kind of championships are running differently. Personally, I think this mandatory completion, 1 band, multiple attempts, is the best competition.
Yes.
But I'm biased, so I would think.
Although one thing that can get tricky in the age group area is that there are people might be in older and earlier age groups kind of hanging around.
So you're not
people
quite
who are
sure.
people who are pushing for a podium who are catching up to the other age group who might be having a hard time getting on the obstacle or kind of clearing the crowd, right? Because people are standing around the obstacle, kind of shaking out their arms and such. And here it looks like you'll have our top 3 doing some interviews
I really
here.
want to get down to that finish line.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think Leon will be the man of the hour for sure. Not taking anything away from Atkins and his victory.
It's funny, isn't it? Because yesterday Annie Doobie came 3rd, and nobody really spoke about that.
Right.
Because the battle between Lindsay and Nicole was so incredible. And we know she came 3rd, and we celebrate that, and it's credible. Unfortunately for her, the conversation will be about those last 3 seconds. And I'm super duper excited for both Ryan and Ian for achieving something they've not done before. But I am so over the moon for Leon, a short course, grip intensive athlete, to be taking 3rd. And this is what I love about this sport. You just never know.
Yep.
You just never know. So here we go. We don't have eyes on any athletes at the minute, but we do have Ian having a quick interview on the finish line. Still no Lindsay at the barbed wire.
Wow. But yeah, we did get a view of Lindsay doing drop zone, right, which is on the 3K course. So not too terribly far from the barbed wire. This looks like this might be maybe surrounding our top 10 men, perhaps, right here. I'm not sure who this athlete is, but we'll see a Mexican athlete. Yep.
It's great when they wear things that you can identify
possibly Emmanuel Sierra Camacho, possibly. Yeah, I have the results. We can.
Here we go. This is our top 10. You were right. Emmanuel Sierra Camacho.
Emmanuel's right. Yep.
So
okay.
top 10 men. We have our top 10 men through Ryan Atkins, Ian Hosick, Leon Cofford, Igor Belousov, Tyler Veerman, Fernando Valenzuela, Sam Osborne, Ethan Brown, Peter Jackson, and Emmanuel Sierra.
Oh, and actually, we didn't mention Noah Busher there. Actually, so yeah, I had thought at first that Ethan Brown and Noah Busher.
No, he was not old enough to bet. Like, it was too old.
Right, but actually, so I take that. So it was Sam Osborne who was in 7th there battling on the cargo net with Ethan Brown, who overtook him.
I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. Lindsay's just past the barbed wire, which means from our seat we should be able to see her.
Yep,
standing
through.
Up in just a moment and then
running
there she downhill.
Is. Yep.
I don't know how. I know. Let's try running with that. Okay. They come the women.
Here we go. Here we can see our eyes here on Lindsay. We've got a camera waiting for her to come around the bend. So that little hut that you see in the left-hand side of the corner, that's not far from, medium far from where she is. We'll see her come past that. It's again onto Kashab, Ricochet, and the home stretch. Just like Ryan did, her husband, the 2 of them together taking first place. Even if she had huge problems here, she's not going to be overtaken. And she can take her time to enjoy this first place. She can absolutely enjoy it. I love as well between the two. It probably won't happen today because I think Ryan's probably still tied up with media at the finish line.
Yeah.
Very often Ryan gets out on the course
and
cheers her in for the final bit.
Yes. And that's always great to see, right? Such a great couple, of course, right? So I mean, the king and queen.
Lovely. The king and queen. So we've got the team event tomorrow as well.
Yes.
I'm not sure who Lindsay's running with because I do know that Nicole Miracle and Annie Doobie are racing with Libby Joyce.
Okay.
She's a 15-year-old UK athlete.
Oh, wow.
She came 2nd in her age group yesterday and kept her band,
awesome.
Which is incredible. Here we go, Lindsay coming down the hill towards Ricochet, but I'm not sure. Lindsay normally runs with Ryan, but she sometimes they both kind of do 2 teams if they can.
They might do a gender specific and then a co-ed, right?
Ryan got first too.
Here we go, Lindsay coming down to Ricochet.
We have Lindsay Webster making her way into upon the set. She is coming into the car chopper. Car chopper making her way to the car chopper obstacle.
Yeah, and as we mentioned yesterday in the broadcast, every Kachava bag.
A full bag of Kachavas.
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
I have not tried it yet.
It is delicious. So a lot
yeah.
of vegan proteins could be a little bit bitter. It's a super blend. It's not bitter at all. Like
Okay.
Ryan and Lindsay have been swearing by it, and clearly it's working very well for them.
Not
both
bad.
of them love Kachava,
Yeah.
and they're both storming through this race. Here she goes, super smooth and beautiful. But don't underestimate how much pain she is in right now. She said on the 3K, which we know is faster, but she said on the 3K she could taste the blood 400 meters in. She sailed through Ricochet.
Yep.
Oh, I wish the camera would turn slightly to the left. There we go.
Yeah, or let her run by a little bit.
Ricochet. Yep. She must be absolutely burning. But she still looks so strong. It's hard to measure. It's sometimes a bit hard to correlate the intense grit and determination and strength these athletes have, then with their really kind personalities. Like a lot of the top athletes are some of the kindest and nicest people I've met, and it's like, how do you align being such a being kind of like so soft almost, and that's not a negative thing, it's a wonderful thing, with then having that grit and determination.
And then I'm sure both the Atkinses will
no, move back.
Yeah. The Atkins, they're going to have a big line of people wanting to take photos, especially given they're the champions.
Here she is.
And Lindsay is not one to like put her hands in the air and showboat or do anything like that, but she shows she must be excited. I mean, this is her.
I like a bit of showboating.
Yeah,
I think athletes deserve it.
Yeah, like at least just like a wave for the crowd or something.
I mean, every time I finish a race, I put my arms in the air.
Yeah.
I did a 5-hour marathon. I put my arms in the air.
Right. Yeah, and timing being 1:40.
She did 1:47 last year, I think.
Yeah, and gonna be well ahead of that.
Here we go, Lindsay Webster of Canada. First place for the female 15K 2023.
And not for nothing, overall she would have been 11th for the men, including the gap, right? Including the gap. So she finished in 1:40 high, right? So
141.
that she beat Tyler Veerman. What? Right, Tyler Veerman was 141 low, and she's ahead of.
So Lindsay Webster would
have been fifth in the men.
In the overall, Lindsay Webster would have come
in
fifth.
Wow. And I mean, it's crazy, right? I think she just found out that her husband Ryan there just won as well. So it seems like she's like tearing up a little bit. She's almost more excited for Ryan than herself in some cases, which is just great to see. So yeah. Those two should be over the moon with their performances. It's such a sweet moment for sure. We're getting here on the screen. Yeah, it's great. You can just see that. You can just see they're both glowing with excitement. This is great. So I mean, a dominating performance by Lindsay. We'd have to check the stats here to see if how far this gap is on the other athletes. But this might be the largest gap we've ever seen in OCR Worlds for sure. But I believe we might have eyes on Nicole Miracle shortly coming through barbed wire. Possibly could be her going down that we see off screen. But it's hard to tell from us over here at the booth. We have a shot here of the cargo net. That classic cargo net that Nicole overtook Lindsay on in the 3K. So this is we're just going to wait in a little bit of a holding pattern here. Not really many men either. So those top 10 men really put up some really strong times comparatively to the rest of their peers for sure. So here's our 11th place male coming through here. And that's Noelle Medina actually coming in 11th.
Oh, fantastic!
So Noelle Medina is a southeastern athlete, I believe, out of Florida. out of Get It Core Fitness. You'll always see him if you follow him on Instagram. You'll see him doing the sweat checks on his, really showing that accountability, like keeping other people accountable. But yeah, he's usually a podium contender in the Spartan series in the Southeast regional races. So good to see him with a really nice finish in 11th place. Again, a pro race, nothing to be ashamed of there. Coming in under 2 hours still for Noel, so that's a great time. And then right behind him in 12th, I'm going to give hopefully some lip service to some people who may not get as much.
Absolutely, let's do it. We're waiting for the women.
So and then in 12th place we have Nick. I'm going to say this wrong, but Charmanis out of Covington, Kentucky. So definitely probably a pretty more remote area. Probably doesn't get to a lot of races very often because there's probably a heavy travel commitment to get to any races.
Absolutely.
For Nick from Kentucky. So good on him for coming in 12th place again, still under that 2 hour mark for the men, which is an impressive time for sure. As you'll see, a lot of around this time we'll likely be easily winning in an age group level race.
Okay, babe, you want to just... We'll get you all set up here.
So kind of just getting a shot of the festival area here. Let me double check here my live result page.
It always astonishes me how these athletes look so good. After pushing so hard. So I run for maybe 2 minutes, I'll be running for, and I turn into a beetroot, like sticky, sweaty. Lindsay's just run 15K. She placed, what did we say, 5th overall?
Yep, but in 5th overall, yep.
And
another athlete coming through. Looks like he's limping through the line there. Hopefully he's okay.
She looks like she's not done anything. Like her skin is clear.
Yep.
But we know that she's working at capacity. We know that's an incredible. I mean, I'm so proud of that result.
Yep. And then again to get some more light to some more athletes there. Jorge Silva coming in 13th place with a time of 1:57:40. So great finish out of Jorge. Again, you're still constantly refreshing our results, waiting to see it, or kind of
nothing from Nicole
peering over our monitor there, waiting for Nicole. I do see another athlete running towards the barbed wire, but again, could be
looks like a woman.
Yeah, potentially could be another gentleman. It's impossible, almost impossible to tell. But
that looks like 2 women running towards the barbed wire crawl. Because I think we're about to get. That looks like it could be Nicole and Rose.
Really?
I'm looking from. I mean, we are far away. We're looking up a mountain here. But it looks like so Nicole just hit barbed wire crawl, and let's see who's behind her. It could be Rose. It could not be. Rose always wears very distinctive clothing. 9-minute gap there, we're thinking, between Nicole and Lindsay on the barbed wire crawl.
Yep. So we have another male athlete coming through the finish here.
As the day has progressed, I've steadily lost layer after layer.
Yes.
I was shivering this morning, and then as the sun comes up, it's got warmer and warmer.
This appears to be Court Dixon coming over the barbed wire, the cargo net there. So he'll be in 14th place, and another really solid mountain runner, but maybe perhaps had some obstacle difficulty, perhaps for Court, being newer to this sort of race.
Let's see. That's a male athlete running away from that barbed wire crawl there.
You see all these athletes too with their hands on their knees right after they finish, right? Just being so out of breath. They worked really hard for at this point 2 hours.
It's a really tough race.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Easy to underestimate the difficulty when you see the pros kind of almost looking like it's easy.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this yesterday. I ran for like 20 meters up a hill with some athletes, and it wasn't easy. We've not had another woman coming through the barbed wire crawl, and we don't currently have eyes on Nicole.
Here's Nicole. Now we do.
There we go. Eyes on Nicole on the screen. She's looking pretty darn happy right now. She's so strong.
Yeah.
She's so lovely. I love her. I love them all.
Yeah, right. How can you dislike any athlete, right? You really can't in this sport, for sure.
There isn't any of. I mean, I don't know them all, but I can only talk about the pros that I know. There aren't any of them that I don't really,
Mhm.
really like as people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
is that relevant to anything? I actually think it is. I think a huge part of support in sport comes down to personality as
Mhm.
well as skill.
Mhm.
You kind
Absolutely.
of everyone has something that they warm towards.
Yep.
And here we go, Nicole going on to the Kachava ricochet. We're waiting for any more women to cut the barbed wire crawl right now.
And she had, oh,
Have we?
oh, Nicole's
Nicole's-
struggling to get to that ring.
There we go.
Yep, she a couple of whiffs on the ring, but she seems to have recovered onto that last board now. And she's
It's
gonna do a
frustrating
big
for
push.
us, so I know it is at home and the camera's just slightly off. It is difficult though with these gimbals. Sometimes they have a slight mind of their own.
Yeah,
They
for
do
sure.
really, really, really well practice with them.
Right, for sure. And again, another shout out to those rabbits who are volunteering their time to do this.
Absolutely.
So here's Nicole Miracle coming through. And again, another really strong weekend, right? At first, right, because we had the COVID year in 2020, right? Oh, wow. So she has not been able to race this race since 2019, and in 2019 in the 15K, she had DNF because she fell off an obstacle and bruised her leg, right, in London. So trying to think when the last, so maybe 2018 might have been her last 15K finish.
Wow.
So as she is one of the greats in the sport, it has been a while since she's finished the race.
I mean, I'm sure she knows here that
she's grabbing her leg. Was she grabbing her leg?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope she's not injured.
On Triumph.
It's always difficult when.
Yeah, I hope I was.
Oh God! She just fell
Oh my goodness!
quite drastically from the car.
Oh God! Wow.
She looks like she's in pain. I hope she knows she has quite a big gap behind her.
Oh my goodness! This got interesting all of a sudden.
So I was saying, when an
athlete
has been injured, there's always a chance it can happen again. But nobody has hit barbed wire crawl yet. Hopefully she knows. But she's looking behind her. She's looking to see, do I have time? She's still smiling.
Yeah, she's walking fine, which is great.
Take your time. Take your breath.
Ooh, that's something you did not expect, right? Because
didn't you hear the scream I just
right, yeah. Every
She looks really tired.
It looked she was grabbing her leg a little bit after the second Triumph jump.
Which leg was it that she had the operation on?
Oh, I'm honestly not sure what side it was on, to be completely honest.
She looks like she hurt her butt there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big fall.
The leap onto Triumph was a little bit iffy.
Even here, to be honest, getting on to Triumph, and she's walking away quite a distance. I don't know if she's just trying to keep moving or what.
Maybe she's trying to keep moving, maybe a bit away from the crowds, get a bit of space to compose herself.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, Nicole is obviously also a well-known name and a well-known face in the sport, right? So a lot of people are kind of. She has a little celebrity status, of course.
Here we go.
Oh,
she's taking a run up. She's coming back to it.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully.
Good. That looked like a more
that was
steady.
more smooth. But now watch these leaps onto Triumph here. Hopefully she can absorb mostly with the arms, right?
That's scary for an athlete. Both her and Leon, who have had these knee and leg problems.
Yeah.
That's quite a scary leap.
And the second leap, Triumph is farther. Yeah, even almost brace yourself a little bit.
Come on, Nicole. Come on.
Okay, so hopefully she'll take it a little bit more conservative, right? Because she really doesn't want to fall here again and have to redo those jumps.
She was probably just.
Ooh,
come on, girl.
Wow. Yeah, whenever you miss like that and swing back,
you got to be really strong to keep on to it.
Yeah, scary. But yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah. Nice. Yes. She got the bell. All right.
We're still waiting for Annie or anyone else to come through.
Wow. I mean, that was a very scary fall for sure. But glad to see she seems to be mostly okay.
So for Nicole, it's been all about these last few obstacles this weekend.
I know, good or bad, unfortunately, right? But that did not really shake up the results at all.
So Annie has put the barbed wire crawl as Nicole is passing the finish line.
Yep, she looks to be good.
So Nicole about 152.30ish.
Yeah,
I want to see where that is with the men. That would put her in 11th place.
Wow.
Overall.
Just wow.
I would have liked to see that as a top 10. That would have been really fun.
Of course, yeah.
So we can see Annie, she's just past the barbed wire. We can't see anyone behind her. So it looks like we're going to have, unless anything happens, the same kind of top 3 women as we had yesterday, just the first and second in a slightly different order.
Yep.
Which again is super impressive because 2 very, very different distances.
Absolutely. And then also to give some credit to some more men athletes there, Tony Kyoko in 15th, Christian Caceres in 16th, and Ismail Lin in 17th. So great races out of those guys there. Also
there,
another
Ian and Nicole.
Yeah, right.
hugging it out.
They're great friends, for sure. And then also another Noah Busher has not come through, and he was in the top 5 at one point.
Maybe maybe they got. I don't know.
So that could have been an injury. I mean, I was saying earlier on the broadcast that he's been a great ninja athlete. So I wouldn't imagine him to have a difficulty on an obstacle.
It could be the mountain running.
It could be, yeah. But I mean, I'm definitely surprised not to see him through quite yet.
So we should be seeing Annie come through on Ricochet.
Yep. So we're looks like we have a camera headed up. You see Ricochet there, presented by Kachava.
There we go.
Yep, here she comes, and this is a fun little section. Also,
yeah, it's very zoomy, isn't it?
Yeah, you're the S, yeah, right, yeah.
There's lots of mountain bike trails. In fact, Rylan really likes this area. The last time he was here, I think it was 2016, for mountain biking. So he was very excited to get here. And I think the course has made use of some of those biking trails. Here we go. She's looking really strong. Really strong coming through here. And that kind of swing back. It's heavy on the shoulders, isn't it? She's sailing through that. Absolutely sailed through that.
Her obstacle game has really been impressive, right? She was an age group athlete in 2018 or 2019, I believe, and then the year after that, then took the Elite Spartan Series by storm. Was that and has slowly gotten to be one of the better athletes in obstacles. She had an elbow injury that kept her out of racing. I believe early this year.
Took her a second to just slightly grab the top, but still looking super strong. I don't think any issues with. God, look at those legs. Those are some strong legs. Aren't they?
Incredible.
Gorgeous.
I mean, just as to be expected with someone who's going to run as much as the mountain goat girl is going to run, right? All right, here she goes through the cargo net portion of Triumph, and also for you at home, sometimes they allow the legs through the cargo net, but this time not the case. She easily monkey bars through it and is going to go up the cargo net. Here, the A-frame cargo.
So we did actually change that cargo net on Triumph.
Okay.
It was originally more of a V. And then when we looked at it, it was kind of like, we know that people are going to be going sideways through this, especially when it comes to the team event. So I think in the rule book it originally said you could use your feet.
Oh, okay.
We changed it to be a kind of a monkey cargo. And that's something that OCWC is very happy to do, is kind of constantly change things to make it work the best. So here we go. Annie
rounding out our podium. 156.37 for Annie Doobie, third place. Both women managing 2 podiums.
Oh, look at that. That is so sweet. So our top 3 for women, we have Lindsay Webster from Canada, Nicole Miracle from the United States, and Annie Doobie. Look at those shoulders.
Also from the United States as well.
States. And the top 3 men, just to recap there, we had Ryan Atkins, Canada, we had Ian Hosick from the United States, and Leon Cofford from Denmark. That is a well-rounded podium.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have seen Ian, Lindsay, Nicole, and Annie podium twice this weekend. So far. And we've had our top 3 women come through, but no one else on the barbed wire crawl. So we're not quite sure. We don't have eyes on them yet currently, so I'm not sure when we'll be bringing them.
Incredible gaps.
We just quickly saw the board, but that will come back in a second.
Okay.
Oh, we're only just getting some athletes coming through the 12K. So there are some huge gaps there in the female top 10. Here we go. The Pro Men 15K leaderboard. In first place, Ryan Atkins. Second, Ian Hosick. Third, Leon Cofford. Fourth place is Igor Belusov. Fifth is Tyler Veerman. Sixth place is Fernando Valenzuela. Seventh, Sam Osborne. Eighth, Ethan Brown. Ninth is Grady Jackson. And in 10th is Emmanuel Sierra Camacho. some surprises there.
Yeah, absolutely, right. I mean, I would say definitely the top 5. You would expect to be somewhere in the top 5 for the most part, or definitely on the screen for sure. Fernando Valenzuela, really early on, holding second, third for a little while. Kind of seemed to slow down when Atkins and Hosick really took over, but held strong, right? Not too far behind Tyler there.
I mean, a really small gap we're looking at there between Leon and Igor.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Actually, no, it's quite a big gap.
No,
no, it's not.
Well,
I'm really confused with time. My brain's not working.
Yeah, no, it's about a minute.
That's
a minute gap.
That's
yeah,
a big old gap.
But then of course you had Sam and Ethan the battle there on the cargo
that
net,
was
right?
incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was really good fun.
You see them still working hard, right? Because 7th, 8th is still an incredible achievement, and every placement counts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have just had word that Rose has passed. I can see her running across the mountain. Rose has passed the barbed wire crawl, so she will be our 4th place woman. It's going to take quite a while to fill out that top 10 for females, so I'm not sure if we're going to be going live for that whole time. But currently, we know the top 3 was Lindsay, Nicole, and Annie. Same as yesterday, but Lindsay and Nicole switched positions. But some big gaps between the 3 of them.
Yeah, very.
And we're looking like it's going to be Rose in 4th place.
Yeah, and you're kind of wondering is for sure what might between Nicole and Lindsay for that that really large gap to occur, right? Maybe could have been a step up on obstacle. You saw that perhaps Nicole was grabbing her leg after the second triumph jump on her first attempt, and then of course you saw her take a good spill on the first triumph on the cargo net.
She really took her time, and similarly to how she's handled her comeback from injury, she took her time.
Yeah, patient.
She was positive. She wasn't putting pressure on herself. There was no anger or beating herself up.
Appreciate
Get yourself together. Get ready to do this again. A really nice focus coming from Nicole there.
Absolutely.
So we can see, if I just look to my right over the hill there, we can see Rose running down the hill.
That's going to be a blast.
Heading towards Ricochet.
Yep. She's always wearing some colorful tights, generally, or shorts.
Yeah, and she usually has. This is kind of her running colors, isn't it? That vest.
Yep,
and
the red vest. Yep, makes her easiest spot.
I'm going to say it every time. Athletes who make it easy for me usually get more airtime.
And also,
I know I can recognize them really easily.
Right, and also, can't forget that Rose is. I could be mistaken. Do we have an age on Rose? She might be in her 40s.
She's in her 40s.
In her 40s.
She's a mum.
And she's a mum, right? Exactly. So, just that the way she came, coming back from a pregnancy perform at this level is quite impressive.
I mean, it's something I talk about a lot. I promote women a lot in sport. I myself had a child. My body changed completely. Like my feet grew 3 sizes.
Wow.
My ribs are bigger than they were. I cannot get my core muscles back. Like I've got problems with my back. She's struggling a bit on Ricochet.
Oh, huh.
Ooh.
Okay. Yep. She's got it.
Having a child is. When I say it's a trauma, I don't mean mentally. It's a physical trauma. It's
Sure.
a big thing to recover from.
Sure.
And I know we've got 2 athletes here who've recovered from big physical injuries.
Yes.
It's very, very hard. There's very little dedicated postnatal care for women. It's just something I will hammer on about. So when I see an athlete like Rose performing and coming back like this, it gives me more motivation to go, actually, no, we can do this.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's doable.
Yeah, and hopefully you're watching at home too. If no matter who you are, if you're a mom, you're noticing this is something I could try. Something I could do. Right? Maybe not quite at the OCR World Championship level just yet.
But why not?
But, yeah.
We have journeymen. We have journeymen. We have the charity. I talk to people constantly throughout the weekend. If I see people with their family, I'm like, come do the charity. Like, oh no, we can't do this. Like, but you can. The charity wave is not a competition, but we have the journeyman wave as well, which is, it can be competitive if you want it to be. You can also take it a lot easier. This is fun. This is good fun for everyone.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what she does here.
Take your time, be composed. You've got this. Amazing. She's just getting static shots though. Oh, Caroline Senior has come through the barbed wire crawl in 5th place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Incredible. So we'll be having a 5th place woman come through soon. So her and Leon run a lot together.
Okay.
So this will be a really nice finish coming through.
I'm not familiar at all with that athlete.
She is Norwegian. I actually have to make a huge public apology. In my most recent rankings, I put her down as Danish. I was here very kind of I need to change that. And she saw me yesterday. She's like, by the way, I'm Norwegian. I'm not Danish. I'm so embarrassed. There's Rose crossing the finish line. She's very long. She's got a great wingspan. She's very, very strong and also incredibly beautiful. She's a great athlete. She does very well in Europe. And obviously here, shows that she's holding her own. Her results were quite low down in the pack for quite a while. And she is absolutely overtaken. So there we go, Rose Wetzel. Coming in 4th place. So that's our top 4 women as Lindsay Webster, Nicole Miracle, Annie Doobie, and Rose Wetzel. And we are looking like our 5th place will be Caroline. Oh, but we have Calypso Sheridan, who's also passed the barbed wire crawl. 2 minutes behind her. 2 minutes behind her. So
okay. It's doable. It's doable because
she's going to overtake her, but it could possibly
But I mean,
happen.
we've seen what happened. I mean, Triumph is failable. The cargo net portion, Ricochet has caused problems in the past for people. Doesn't seem to be an issue so far in the races we've seen, but you know, you really never know. So the message there is just if you're Calypso, to run as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah,
right?
she's a really, really, really strong athlete, Calypso.
Yep.
And a really cool name as well.
Yes, I'd agree. Is she US based or is she Australian?
I think she's Australian.
Yeah.
I think she's US based, but I think she's Australian.
Yeah, she's down as
Here we go. We've got Caroline
USA.
on the screen.
Yep. Okay, there's Caroline. Yep.
You see, she's really strong and long.
Yes.
She's a good example of a Northern European.
She could basically reach those bars.
Yeah. This is going to be a lovely moment with her and Leon when she realizes he's come third. They traveled here together.
Oh,
they
that's
spend a lot of time racing and training together. Taking her time again. Hopefully, she knows she has time.
Again,
to do
just
this.
knowing that, you know, she is a completion away from taking 5th place, right? Ooh,
that is a big one. She's got such a strong and long wingspan. Really strong there. Incredible. What kind of time have we got here? Have we got the women's time clock anywhere? Finish time. Fantastic. 2:05. It's quite a big gap.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because she's coming in here 5th.
Right.
That is incredible. This has been a tough course.
Absolutely.
You don't normally see these kind of gaps.
I know. I can't wait till I'm on course later and I'm looking at my watch and I see 2:05 and I'm
about halfway through.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really impressive, and I'm gonna be remembering watching this footage while I'm on course.
Caroline and Leon.
Oh, what a great moment! Yeah.
She is puffed there. Fantastic. So we have our top 5 women.
Yes. So it's going to be Lindsay Webster, Nicole Miracle, Annie Doobie, Rose Wetzel, and then
Caroline Signey.
So did you say Caroline Signey? Is that her name, or because the results saying Signey Caroline?
So it's down in the rankings. It's down in the Trekkie is Signey Caroline Colstow. I've always known her on social as Caroline Signey.
Okay.
But I may be getting that wrong. Let's say Caroline Signey Colstow.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
we do funny things with names in Europe.
Yeah, for sure. Well, regardless, great performance out of that athlete, right? Possibly a debut in OCR Worlds. I don't recall seeing her unless she was perhaps.
She has been here previously. Okay. Sorry, who?
Signey Caroline.
Yes, she has.
She has. Okay. But her best finish for sure, right?
She did well on the 100 meters last year.
Okay, got it.
She's good, like ninja athlete. Here we go. This is Calypso.
Yep.
First I heard of Calypso was this year at a Savage race where she just kind of came out of nowhere, and now she's 6th in the 15K. So probably next year we're going to see a lot of her.
Yeah, I would agree. And then also, she came on the scene in my eyes at Go Ruck Games, right? Took 2nd there among some strong athletes. Also has done really well at DecaFit. So I believe we're going to see her next month at the DecaFit World Championships. That's going to be in Dallas, first weekend of November.
Wow. Oh, she's got her feet stuck.
Oh, I think she had to flip again, whether she liked it or not.
I've never been able to do that flip.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. And she's pretty thrilled with her performance, it seems.
She's not stopping for anyone. I was like, I'm getting across that completion line.
Yeah, of course.
You can take your time to get across that line.
Yes.
I'm so glad Rose's chip got sorted. I was so worried.
I know, especially when we were seeing her, we were like, that's definitely Rose Wetzel, but it's definitely not on our list. So, Yeah, and so we don't have Mod de Suter through the barbed wire yet.
No.
So
Could be a while until we're seeing the next few women.
yeah, for sure. But the next woman we're looking out for is Mod de Suter, Ashley Heller, Ksen Golovinka out of Miami, Florida, and Faye Morgan.
So I think we are going to be wrapping that up there. We're going to get some interviews with the guys. This is the that was our past results of who did well past. I will recap that for you verbally of who our top women were. We had Lindsay Webster with 1 hour 41, Nicole Miracle 1 hour 52, Annie Doobie 1 hour 56.
Here's ours. Yep, here we go.
Rose Metzel 203. Caroline Signy-Colstow 205 and Calypso Sheridan 207. Those 47 coming in really quite close to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
But really, this is a home run for Lindsay Webster.
Right. Yeah.
Far and above, like she has taken this.
Arguably her most dominant performance ever.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. And after yesterday, I can't blame her. After yesterday, she had some fire under her after what happened yesterday. And can we quickly recap the men for anyone who may have missed it? See if we've got the top 10 handy there. We know it was Brian Atkins, obviously. Husband and wife taking the first place. Ian Hosick, Leon Cofford taking the top 3, followed by Igor Belousov, Tyler Bierman, Fernando Valenzuela, Sam Osborne, Ethan Brown, Grady Jackson, and Emmanuel Sierra Camacho. And let's not forget there that Lindsay would have been coming in there, top 5 or top
I believe
6.
it's top 5, very, very close with Veerman. It would have been might have been another cargo net
possibly
size
seconds in it, which
for
is
Veerman and with Lindsay.
Such an achievement.
Yeah.
So there we go. That is the 15K OCRWC 2023 results for your men and women. We have had an incredible day here today. It's been some really great surprise results.
Yes,
thank
very
you
fun.
so much for joining me. And thank you guys for joining me. We'll be back here tomorrow for the team event. We will be going live at 8:15 a.m. PST. So don't forget to join us. Same thing, OCR Report. You can also find us on Spartan YouTube and OCRWC YouTube. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.